your evidence points to a man of means, right? Would you agree all these things you said, if I may list them quickly? He came accompanied by guys in 6 choppers. He came with dignitaries. You said Honorable Sudi, Kitany, and many others. You said this fundraiser was the largest. That place in Sin, he donated 1 million shillings in cash. You said he was serving as a second-term MP. Don't all these things you said, would you agree all these things you told my Lord point to a man of means?
I can say so, my Lord, because we could.
Who is wealthy or rich or whatever adjective you like?
I would never talk of that because I. This Kenyan do have and I can.
Suggesting to you, Mrs. Kitany, that the evidence you gave yesterday wealthy men or Linturi.
You don't ask locked question.
We are in a job, I want to be as cut.
And also you must let me. Yes.
And you can confirm with the judge. You'll get a time after I'm done asking you questions to explain through my learned friend, Mr. Omari. So don't panic for now.
I am not panicking.
So then answer my questions.
Yes.
And I want those who move faster.
Okay, ask a question.
Which you gave in your evidence. Don't they, generally speaking, for a man of means?
I don't know about his finances, so I cannot elaborate on that.
I will ask you again, Mrs. Kitany. Somebody listening to you, a normal, ordinary, reasonable person listening to your evidence yesterday, wouldn't they agree the man who did the things you say was a man of means?
I've said I cannot tie myself and say he's rich, he's not rich. I can't, because I don't know one's pocket.
Your Honor, I will point, because last time we had this, and this is how we lose time even when I tell you I'll spend these minutes. I think this witness is mistaken that she can do what the other witness did, which is to refuse to answer questions. Perhaps I should point to the witness, section 121, subsection 1B of the Penal Code, makes it an offense for a witness coming to give evidence to refuse to answer questions. I'm still on my feet. My colleague can respond once I'm done, Your Honor.
I have an objection.
Let me finish making my request, then you object. Your Honor, my understanding of the law, and specifically section 121 of the Penal Code, is that any witness who comes to court is obliged to answer questions put to them, and they cannot refuse to answer those questions or run away from them. And it is indeed an offense. I have the printers of section 121. Perhaps I can give the witness a copy. Your Honor, what I'm saying is that we cannot afford this charade where witnesses come here to tell you things that have grave implications on the lives and fortunes of other persons, then they refuse to answer their questions. They cannot eat their cake and have it. Either they have come to give evidence or they have not. But for purposes of the rule before you, it is an offense punishable by no less than 3 years imprisonment for a witness to come to court like the witness now before us and refuse to answer questions. So what I'm saying, Your Honor, because we've been wasting a lot of your time on this, is I'm asking the court to make an emphatic decision. Can this witness or any of the other witnesses who will come before you refuse to answer questions put to them on a matter relevant to the case before the court in view of the provisions of the law that I just pointed to? My request is you direct this witness and all the other witnesses that they are obliged, the moment they saw those witness statements, they cannot choose which questions to answer and which ones to duck and evade and kick about the bush.
Your Honor, I strongly object to the application by my learned colleague. The reason being that what question was to the witness, that question yesterday, is a clear manifestation that Honorable Linturi is a depict richness. That is the answer. According to the card. The answer is not according to counsel. He cannot expect a particular answer to come from the witness. Therefore, the witness cannot be forced to confirm what in her testimony is not what she knows. An answer is an answer based on what she knows, what she believes, not what counsel wants her to answer. Number two, the witness has been shown the law. Section 121 about offenses relating to judicial proceedings. The section that has been read to the witness says any person having been called upon to give evidence in a judicial proceeding and fails to attend, that is out. She's here. Two, or having attended refuses to be sworn in, she has been sworn in. Or to make an affirmation, she is a Christian, she has been sworn. Or having been sworn in or affirmed, refuses without lawful excuse to answer a question. She has not refused to answer the question. She has only refused to confirm an answer that is already predetermined. Or to produce a document. So the question, Your Honor, before this court is, has she refused to answer the question? She has answered the question. Is the answer satisfactory to the advocate? No. It is the advocate to use his skills to get the answers from her. You know, we take this as aimed to threaten, intimidate, scare, and cause pandemonium within the plaintiff's witnesses. We seek protection from this court. Because if the witnesses are being threatened to be jailed, simply the offense being that they have stated what they know. Counsel has his own witnesses who he knows what evidence they produce. He can only extract information from my clients through other skills, but not intimidation, not scaring, and an answer is an answer. My client has not committed an offense of perjury to lie. My client has, the witness has simply put the position that according to her, that is not sufficient to provide that Mheshimiwa is rich. My client has gone further, Your Honor, to say that politicians can go sourcing money all over and come pretending that that money is theirs. The answer is very clear. So, Your Honor, we seek protection from you that let the law not be used to intimidate, to scare. Let the questions be pressed. Let counsel extract information from the witness without scaring and intimidating my client. Your Honor, we seek protection from this court.
To ascertain the truth, there can be no system of administration of justice that can be based on the idea that any answer is an answer. If that were the law, witnesses would be able to tell one story in their pleadings and in their evidence, and it will never be challenged at all. If the law were that any answer, however spurious, however disingenuous, however pretentious, however dishonest, however elusive, a witness is expected to give substantive answers This witness told you during the evidence in chief that they were concerned the Honorable Linturi was the previous witness in short.
Can I object? My client has.
I'm still on my feet, Your Honor.
You see, you cannot refer to PW1 in relation to PW2.
Your Honor, I'm saying is the case before you. The thrust and the general narrative and the picture that has been painted of the respondent is that of an economic parasite or predator. And you have been told many things, both by this witness and the previous witness. And all I was trying to show by my line of questioning is that that narrative, which they don't, of course, want to be challenged, conceivably be correct, cannot possibly be honest. And of course, before several other courts. That is why we have trials, my lord. It is for that reason we must say cross-examination is the greatest engine ever invented for discovery of the truth. Witnesses. The only exceptions, my lord, is if we ask indecent questions or scandalous questions. They are covered, I think, in section 150, 151, or abusive questions. They are not abusive, they are not immoral. And for that reason, I am requesting that the court informs these witnesses, and indeed all others, they can't give evasive answers and then tell you any answer is an answer anyway.
I have carefully considered that once a question has been put to a witness, he or she is expected to answer the same to the best of his or her ability and knowledge. Counsel has to employ his knowledge and tactics and acumen in extracting the answers put to the said witness. The court, as an impartial arbiter, is obligated to make the witness and in any event all the other parties participating in the proceedings comfortable, and for the witness that he should be able now then to answer questions fielded or put to her by counsel. In this case, the situation, though heated, has not reached a point where penal sanctions should be meted out. I direct that the witness answers the questions put to her for this court's record. She has a duty to do that under law, having recorded statement or statements, as the case may be. She should be given a chance where necessary to explain herself, and should not be put in what we call a straight jacket, so that then she is pushed to a corner and not able to breathe and give up the answers. So we'll expect that questions put to the witness must be answered. There are no two ways about it. But we will also control, because that's why I'm here, where I think either you are going off, you are trying to evade, I will cut you. And that's why I'm here. It's not an easy job to sit here.
Much obliged, you know, control.
Around, dignitaries can accompany. They are not prohibited.
In the ordinary course of events, will dignitaries fly 6 choppers to accompany a poor man to a fundraiser?
My Lord, it's not good to talk characteristics of people saying, calling them poor or rich.
Now, please answer my question. We are trying to help each other here. You know,
we employed that technique and we saw the light of day in PW1.
yes.
So that let's move that way, but just note what I have said.
Okay. In the ordinary course of events, Mrs. Kitany, would a man who can donate 1 million shillings have problems paying his rent?
I don't know.
You don't know. In the ordinary course of events, would a man with the networks of the sort of dignitaries you described yesterday be able to pay for his own holiday?
My Lord, he's asking me things I never said about our holiday, of the rent. I need him to stick to
Don't worry, unfortunately the law is the other way out, Mrs. Kitany. I'm allowed in cross-examination to ask you any relevant question. So just to be clear so that we read from the same page, my questions are not restricted to what you said yesterday, and that's the law. So the question I asked you, would a man who is known to the sort of dignitaries that came to your with 6 choppers, would such a man ordinarily, it's a general question, would he ordinarily be having problems paying his rent? Ordinarily, we're just talking as Kenyans generally. I'm not asking you as a scientific question.
I think I've answered, my Lord, that with Arabes, one can engrace and then take. And
The question you're not answering me is whether in the ordinary course of events, a man of the type you painted yesterday, would he fail to pay his own rent?
with that I cannot answer because I don't know his pocket. I don't know his accounts.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think we just know so that we move forward. Lord, that the witness is not answering my questions. We will at the appropriate stage be making submissions to what you should then conclude about our credibility. But, Mrs. Kitany, would a man who can donate 1 million shillings in cash and be accompanied by all these 6 choppers, would he ordinarily be able to build a house for his parents? To your honest belief and knowledge, this is a court of truth. Would such a man ordinarily be able to build a house for his parents?
My Lord, I think I have said that I don't know the account of one. You can ask me for my own account, then I can tell you what I have.
I'm not asking you about Linturi's account, just so that we're on the same page. I'm asking, there is a picture that emerged, or at least one that I picked from your evidence yesterday, and I'm trying to ask you questions that naturally arise from that picture. So the question is, you are the one who told that this man gave 1 million shillings in cash, and I'm asking you, a man who can afford to give 1 million shillings in cash, a man who can afford to give 100,000 in cash for the function of 26th or whatever, a man who can give their car away And I'm asking you, ordinarily, would such a man be able to build a house for his parents? Would he, in the ordinary ways of life, would we expect such a man to be able to build a house for his parents?
You know, with such an answer, ask me what I said. God knows what I never said.
But you only can confirm to the witness the question whether you know, remove. You don't.
I don't know the account of one. You know one, I don't know the account of one.
In the Kenya we live in, with the type of man you described yesterday, who is also a sitting MP, have difficulties obtaining a private school admission for his son, so that he will need someone to help him.
I don't know.
You don't know. Would you yourself believe any person who tells the court that a man who can donate $1 million was being ejected for failing to pay his own rent? Would you believe that story if it was told to you? Have you heard my question?
I've heard.
Suppose someone came to you and told you this man who gave your churches 6 million shillings was having problems paying his rent. Would you believe that story?
I would believe or not because...
No. Please, it's either you would believe or you will not believe it. Which one will you take?
I would believe because money can disappear. Money can, sometimes you have contracts that they are not paid. You have them somewhere, they have not been paid to you. Therefore, at that time, you don't have money. So you can be ejected.
You told my lord yesterday that the Honorable Linturi stole title deeds of your plot and those of your relatives.
Yes.
I showed you 3 witness statements you have made in this court. Does any of those statements disclose the land reference number of the title deeds that was stolen?
It does not show, but...
It does not show.
But it is showing the company name.
No. Does it show, does any of your several witness statements and affidavits disclose the land reference number of the plot whose title deeds led to restore?
It doesn't show, but it has the company name. And you know, you conceal sometimes the title deeds number so that if it needs my court to introduce, I can do so.
Please answer my question. Have you placed a copy of any of those title deeds in your witness statements?
My lord, if it is needed by this court,
Please answer me.
I have not done so.
I said yes, you have not done so. It helps if you answer yes or no, because we move faster. Have you placed any certificate of official search of those properties before his owner, so that we can ascertain whether they are actually your plots?
I have not done so, but if this court wants them, I will do so, sir.
You have not done so. So as we are here, you want his owner to believe Linturi stole title deeds of a plot whose number is not known and whose registered owner is not known. Is that what you want the court to believe that?
My lord, there were affidavits signed to that effect. I've read the affidavit and my signatures were forged in the affidavits. Therefore, I took the affidavits and the forged document to DCI for investigation. And later on we found these signed affidavits were taken to a bank and money was collected and kept. So they are signed affidavits with forged documents of my signature.
Rhoda, are you yourself indicated as the registered owner of any of the plots whose title deeds you claim were stolen?
My company?
No. I didn't ask about your company.
The company where I'm the director, yes. I'm the director.
You're a director.
Yes.
You're aware a company is different from its directors and shareholders. Are you aware of that?
Of what?
That a company is a different entity from its owners and shareholders.
It's not a different thing.
Okay, fair enough. But are you yourself, Rhoda Kitany, indicated as the registered owner of any of the plots whose title deeds you claim was stolen?
My lord, nowadays people can buy property through companies.
I don't think she's
the
answering the
director.
question, Your Honor. Is she personally registered as the owner of any of the plots whose title deeds she claimed yesterday?
I've said, yes, I'm registered because I'm the director of the company.
Don't answer the question.
Yes.
Are you personally registered as the owner? Please listen to my question before you answer it. Does the title deed of those plots show your name as the owner of the plot?
The title deed is registered under the company. Yes. Where I'm the director.
So it cannot be true, therefore. I saw the court was speaking to its audience.
They make life easier for us, at least, when things get hot.
Yes. Did you ever report this death of title deeds to the police?
When I realized this was held in a meeting last August, when we came for a reconciliation meeting, is when we were told by Maryanne about the incident. I had not known, I had not heard about it, and then when I heard about it, we had talked to Mheshimiwa, and from there he told me that he's going to settle the matter, and on a Tuesday or Wednesday he's going to give it to me. He's going to give me back my title. To date, it has never materialized. Therefore, I have to go to DCI. I've recorded a statement there.
My question is, did you report this theft of your title deeds, or did anyone report it to the police?
I've reported to the DCI.
You have reported. Did you personally report, or someone else reported?
I did so to DCI.
Okay.
Yes.
Have you annexed that report to the DCA to any of your several affidavits and witness statements?
I've not touched it. But I've written in my affidavit that the matter is
Under investigation.
Yes.
And my question is, have you attached that complaint you supposedly made to the police?
The DCI is supposed to come here now.
No. My question is it attached to any of your several? I have them here.
My lord, when you report something to DCI, they don't give you any document. Just go there, they write, and they do their own investigation. Because if they give you, you check on them.
The question is, have you attached any of them? It's a very easy question. It's either yes or no. Have you or have you not attached?
No, I've not. Because
You
we are
have
not
not.
legal.
I'll show you a statement that was made by your daughter to the police. the marriage whose existence you are trying to testify did not exist? Or do you want me to read for you what she told the police?
Just read.
It says, at my parents' home, his divorce matter was discussed and he personally committed to pursue and conclude the matter soonest, since my parents, being devout Christians, felt and agreed that the union was not of a polygamous nature. He, at the same time, during the introduction meeting, promised to initiate the formalization of the relationship through the expected cultural practices of formal introduction of both families, through to engagement and dowry payment. To date, this has not happened, and he does not want the issue discussed. That's what your daughter told the police.
Now, that is herself. This is my statement.
Okay.
That Mheshimiwa came to my house
That's okay.
for an engagement. We sealed the engagement.
We'll deal with that. What I'm asking Mrs. Kitany is what your daughter told the police consistent with your evidence in this court?
That is her.
Is it or is it not? It's a simple yes or no. Is what she told the police consistent or inconsistent with your witness statements?
My witness is my witness. My affidavit is my affidavit. Her is hers. You don't combine.
No, Your Honor, I'll request that the court directs the witness to answer the question. Either it is consistent, she must choose one. Of course, we will at submissions deal with which, but she must answer you whether what her daughter told the police in black and white is consistent with the evidence she gave you in chief.
Your Honor, I think the witness is very clear. She's being shown what is foreign to her.
Yes.
And she's simply saying she doesn't know. It's a document not authored by her. And she's simply saying what she knows, the wedding was done. If that is what Maryanne said, it's only Maryanne who can answer that. What any answer that is the court expected?
That's not the issue, Your Honor. The only question I asked is a very narrow question. Of course, when all together, the only question I'm asking this witness in the statement by Maryanne is decide who to believe. You may believe Maryanne, you may believe. For now, whether privacy
She has clearly said that according to her, all marriage ceremony.
That is not the question. That's not the question I'm asking. The question I'm asking this witness to confirm is whether the statement that daughter made to the police, which says the introduction were never taken, this is a statement made not to some riffraff on the road. Enforcement agency.
The statement and the police being. She's not the author of this statement. Even on top what she knows, she cannot be asked over an issue that we have raised, even not once, not twice, not thrice. Can the statement, the one who was written this statement, appear before this court so that that person will be asked those questions? Because we cannot be relying on a dead appendage, and yet there are no directions as to the police who are alleged that this statement was made to them come to this court. So my position is, Your Honor, my client has said to her basis she can't comment over what she doesn't. That as already
I'm not in this question. And you're and that file clearly indicated that the plaintiff had relied on that statement, and it was filed by her before this very court in matter number 1044. So the statement exists. Whether what it says, the truth of the contents is a different matter. That's not why I'm asking these questions. The only question I'm asking this witness is whether prima facie our account of events is consistent with this statement as made to the police, as filed in matter number 1044, as filed in matter number 1260, as filed in several other matters which are already in court. So that we don't waste your time, Your Honor, the witness only needs to tell you whether it is consistent or it is inconsistent. Of course, she can choose, which they seem to do, which is to refuse to answer the question, so that we save your time. Then I'll ask you to note that she has refused to answer that question.
My Lord, I've said that I'm not the author of that statement, and I was not in the police, so I never wrote. Let the advocate ask me what I wrote. Ask my advocate.
Of course, let me cut. Of course, that is not the law. It's not the procedure.
Yes.
He's allowed to put few questions. We answer them. If we think they are not coming out clearly, we'll make a note of that. It will be subject to our submissions on the issue of the character of
Credibility.
Okay. My Lord, you know, he's trying to put words into my mouth, of which it's hard for me to answer something which has been put into my mouth. I don't digest somebody's answer. Let the answer come from me. I have the answer.
Answering my questions because I keep clarify now the time to offer those explanations. So we would actually have been done by now. Just put the question. If
For me, the question.
and the question is,
Yes.
is that statement I read for you from your daughter consistent with your evidence of the existence of a marriage?
It is not, because what took place is what I said, and that document is saying it never took place.
So it is not consistent. You would agree that it's an inconsistency, isn't it? Good. You told His Honor yesterday that Enshum, I'm trying to say the name the way you said it, Enshum Medika came to the function that took place at your home for engagement, right?
Yes, I did.
Who? Enshum Medika. Enshum is E-M-S-U-M-E. My friend here is being cheeky. You're only asking whether that is somebody's name. Enshum Medika is the person, my lord. So you told my lord that Enshum Medika is confirmed.
Look at the
This was just
photographs.
yesterday.
Yes.
You told
I said so.
you say
Okay.
I put it to you that Enshum did not attend that function.
He didn't, because
He
I
didn't.
went and checked. It was somebody known as Ndongari.
Okay, so
Yeah.
Enshum said that the Nsuma attended cannot be correct.
He never attended.
He never attended.
Yes.
So,
Somebody else.
testify the truth.
The names, these are different. And when you see pictures, they are related. They are the same, but when I went, checked on them and verified.
Now at least we confirm as of yesterday. You were asked twice, not once, both by my colleague and by you knew Linturi's mother and you were unable to tell it, true or not? You only called her Mrs. Linturi, true?
I knew her.
Yeah, but that's not the question. Yesterday.
Yes.
You were asked twice by your two lawyers whether you knew Linturi's mother, and you said it in your own words that you couldn't call her name, but you call her Mrs. Linturi. Isn't that what transpired yesterday?
It transpires, but
Good.
with us encouraging culture,
It's okay.
once they have come for an engagement, we call them
It's okay.
Maryanne or Bamwai,
It's okay.
and we don't call names.
It's okay.
Yes.
And I'm putting to you that if that woman was actually your in-law, if your daughter is the type of relationship with the Honorable Linturi would want the court to believe, Linturi call it.
My lord, culturally, we are restricted even to name names of in-laws.
That's not the
We are
question.
restricted.
I'm telling you.
If we are restricted, that restriction is...
Why were you mentioning Peter Linturi and he's an in-law as well?
I didn't mention, it was my lawyer who mentioned. I didn't. It
And
was my lawyer
I'm
who...
suggesting to you,
Yes.
I'm putting it to you, that if your daughter was married to the Linturi family, you will not struggle to know the name of Linturi's mother. That would be a person.
I've said, my lord, we have been culturally, after you have selected there is a Bamwai. So I normally names is very sarcastic, and it is at a in Kalenjin.
I now want to go into your various statements and affidavits. This place is too messy, Your Honor. I want to show you a bundle of documents. Your Honor, I'm referring to the respondent's bundle of documents.
That's big for me.
Okay, I was asking whether she has glasses, Your Honor. This is a witness statement sworn by someone else called the Reverend Father Jason Mission. And he says that he celebrated a marriage between the Honorable Linturi and a woman called Mercy Kaimenyi 20 years ago. Are you aware that Linturi has always been married since 8 April 2000?
I'm not aware.
You're not aware?
What I'm aware, sir, is a document which was given to my brother-in-law, Andrew, and they said it was a court case document of divorce. I never read. Heard them talk.
Doesn't your own witness statement say the issue of Linturi's divorce status was discussed? Doesn't that show you were aware that he was married? Why was the issue being discussed?
It was, my lord, it was discussed. That's why I say I overheard.
You
when
overheard?
my brothers-in-laws were and my aunts were discussing, and the old men who were in that wedding ceremony.
And I'm telling you, we have statements here from a Catholic priest and a lawyer confirming that Linturi why you should doubt Father Misheni and the advocate Mbaya when they say that Linturi married Mercy Kaimenyi on 8 April?
My lord, I don't know about the marriage. I don't know about this affidavit he's giving me.
You don't know about the marriage yet? It was discussed at your home?
I don't know about this affidavit you are showing me.
Okay.
Yes.
Can I show you your own statement why it says the issue of his divorce was discussed?
It was discussed when we asked, when my brothers-in-law were
I
asking
think the question should be phrased whether it's a question about marriage or divorce. My client, the witness is very clear what was discussed was a divorce.
Yeah, not marriage. And my lord,
We're just engaging in legal sophistry. Just a
my
minute.
lord, I don't know about the marriage. I don't know about the affidavit. I never attended that marriage.
That may all be so, but you are the one who has sworn affidavits and witness statements saying the status, the marital status of Linturi was discussed, is divorce status. Isn't that what the witness statement says?
My lord, it was discussed because he brought a court case divorce.
Yes.
letters.
And I'm putting it to you that both yourself, your in-laws and everyone knew that Linturi was married to someone else. That's why it was an issue in your negotiation.
He had said he had divorced, and by somebody coming, that is my brother-in-law, because they were the ones who were discussing. I told you yesterday that women are there to be seen and not to be heard. So I never asked any question.
Perhaps I'll ask one generic question still on this deal. The Honorable Linturi has placed before this court several documents, including this marriage certificate, several photographs, and even a video. That's why we have that TV, showing that he is married to Mercy Kaimenyi. Have you placed any material that would entitle the court to doubt that Linturi is married to Mercy Kaimenyi?
My lord, that is not my area. I think that is not my area of filing. The person who should do so is Maryanne, who is married to Mheshimiwa, not me. As the mother-in-law, I'm talking of my position as a parent.
Actually, Maryanne's testimony, if I inform you, was that she was not disputing Linturi is married to Mercy Kaimenyi.
That is our position.
Okay.
My
You
position,
yourself, are you disputing that marriage?
me, I've said, please don't take me to the marriage ceremony, to the marriage. I don't know whether they are married or not.
You know, Ms. Kitany, even though you're my senior by many years,
Yes.
you don't have the luxury of choosing which questions I can ask you and which ones you can answer, because there is a legal process. It has rules that govern it. I just told you, your daughter's testimony, and the court can correct me if I'm misrepresenting it, was that she's not disputing the marriage between Mercy Kaimenyi and Medeka Linturi. So my question to you, are you disputing that the Honorable Medeka is married to Mercy Kaimenyi?
My Lord, I've said, what Maryanne said is not me. That is Maryanne. And that is her.
The witness is not answering the question. I will ask protection, let her answer the question. Either she's disputing it or she's not.
Me, I cannot do that, my Lord. Because Mheshimiwa came, let me talk of him coming to my home. But about the marriage of Mercy Kaimenyi, because I was not there, I overheard, you know,
and so let the question be contextualized in terms of timelines. Maryanne is here. She testified that in 2000 she did not attend, neither did she cannot contest that time there was a wedding. That is the question my witness can be put to.
Your Honor, sometimes I suffer memory lapses and hearing lapses, but on this issue I recall Maryanne telling you loud and clear, and luckily we have recordings, both audio and video, of Maryanne telling you she was not disputing that there was a marriage between the Honorable Medeka Linturi and Mercy Kaimenyi. I recall that, and that's why I'm asking this witness, since your daughter gave evidence in the examination that she was not disputing that marriage.
The court record can assist us. If indeed Maryanne is saying there is a marriage between Mercy and the Senate,
Answer that in submissions, Your Honor, but that's what I
let the court record tell us what she gave out.
and my Lord,
Just let the court record.
where they came to my house, where the male people with Mheshimiwa came to my house with a letter Maryanne has talked about.
Do you want the court to read again the testimony your daughter gave?
There is a conclusion that Maryanne said there was an
Of course there is.
Yes, and that is what I'm explaining also.
No.
Yes.
You answer the question I asked you, not to explain things. I've told you your daughter's testimony, as just read a moment ago, was that she was not doubting a marriage took place between the Honorable Linturi and Mercy Kimani.
My lord.
Listen, I've not even asked you the question.
Okay.
Her testimony was that she was not disputing that a marriage took place between Mercy Kimani and Medeka Linturi. And my question is as follows. Are you yourself disputing that marriage took place?
That was 2000?
Yes.
And now it is 2019.
Are you disputing yes or no? No other answer will suffice. Are you disputing that?
Yes, I'm disputing because he came.
Even if your daughter is not disputing it?
The conclusion part of it said, my daughter said that there was an affidavit which was brought to our.
We will likely come to that, only that you're jumping there.
But why are you sticking to that part alone?
Yes, because that is the part that is of my interest for now. And I have to remind you, you're not the one who chooses which parts I'm interested in or which ones. If you want, you can confirm with the court whether I have the right to select the questions I put. You want the court to confirm?
I have a right also to answer you according to what.
No.
Your Honor, if I may interject on behalf of my learned friend, I think there's a kind of genetic genesis that we have seen or experienced since since PW1 came into the stand. It is becoming conclusive that the witness is deriving or driving herself towards the ambit of hostility. And therefore, I would urge the court to declare her hostile, because you have warned her several times that she thinks that she's in her deconing, trying to do things she does, probably in the church. We are not in the church, we are in the politics.
My lord.
She can only be told to ask her questions. And we have submitted the jurisdiction of this court to guide us what questions to answer.
Just put the question once again.
The question is, since your daughter is not disputing a marriage took place between Mercy Kimani and Medeka Linturi, are you yourself, Rhoda Kitany, disputing that a marriage took place between Medeka Linturi and Mercy Kimani?
I don't know whether it took place or not. I don't know.
I think so that we don't detain the court necessarily, Your Honor, I will just ask you to note, just like we noted repeatedly one, that this witness ducks questions she doesn't have to duck, and evades questions that are very straightforward. You say you are a pastor.
Yes, I am.
David, you saw. Trying to open it, my lord. The affidavit you saw on 29th March, perhaps Mr. Omari could show the affidavit, Your Honor. The affidavit sworn on 29th March. The 9th March. But before we come there, you were told, His Honor, you are a pastor.
Yes, I am.
Are you licensed to celebrate marriages as a pastor?
No, I'm not
Okay.
licensed.
Have you been ordained as a pastor or as a
As theological by extension.
Do you hold any qualifications in theology, whether a degree or a diploma or certificate?
Yes, I have diploma.
Okay, you have a diploma.
Yes.
But as a minister, you must also be aware of the commandment that says, thou shalt not give false evidence against your neighbor, isn't it?
Yes.
Which commandment was that? Anyway, we don't have to remember the number. As a minister of God, or of the church, rather, would you agree with me that marriage is a process? Would you agree that marriage is a process that involves several steps and procedures and rituals?
Yes, it pertains that depending on denominations.
Yes, but generally, we're speaking generally. You would agree that a non-customary marriage is a process, right? Would I be right to say it's a process?
Yes, it is.
You would also agree that that process involves a number of ceremonies. Does it involve several ceremonies?
Me, I know of a ceremony of engagement
It is a ceremony of engagement.
and a ceremony of a wedding in a church.
And a ceremony that takes place in a church. Is that what you said?
That is, if this one now is as per one. If he doesn't want expenses, they can do an engagement and do a farewell party, and that person already is a wife of one.
So,
And if somebody else will have to go now to a church, depends on that person.
would I be right to say that the engagement is what you call coitor?
Yes, coitor is engagement. You know, yeah.
And that it takes place at the girl's home?
Yes.
Would I be right to say that the boy's parents visit the girl's home before coitor is done? That the families will have done a visit, and specifically the boy's family will have visited the girl's family?
This one now depends on which Kalenjin do you mean?
We are talking about the Nandi one.
Yes, sometimes, not
Sometimes.
always, yes.
Not always.
Yeah.
But generally speaking, the boy's family visits the girl's family first, isn't it? Before
Yeah.
we do coitor.
As a show up.
As a show up.
Yeah.
What do we call that show up in Nandi?
We don't have a name.
You don't have a name for it. Would I be right to say that after the coitor, another ceremony is held, this time at the boy's family?
Have said that will depend.
And either, it's either it happens or doesn't happen. Is it a requirement? You're the one who told us that a Nandi marriage is a process. The boys, the visit, the show up takes place on a distinct day, isn't it?
My Lord, I think with the culture there is a person who is specialized to that event.
You must answer the question. This was a marriage about your daughter, which, according to your evidence, she married according to the Nandi ways. We will deal with the expert. I'm asking you, please confirm that the show up takes place on a different date from the coitor.
If it needs be, they can combine together the same, if time allows. Nowadays, that was as per long ago. But nowadays, because there is no time, coitor is done. and then farewell at the same time, because there is no time.
Would I be correct to say that the visit to the boy's family or to the man's family takes place on a day that is different from the day of the coitor?
Here, you are talking of the boy and
Yes.
we are the daughter.
Yes, of course.
Yeah, can you ask me
Yeah,
about...
but no. I have to remind you. You know, I'm really struggling to be nice towards you.
Yes.
You must answer the questions I ask you, not the questions you want me to ask you. And you're legally required, you have no choice as a matter of law whether to answer those questions. So my question is, would I be right to say that the visit to the boy's family is a distinct and separate ceremony from the coitor?
With the Kalenjin culture, we go to the home of the girl. We don't go to the home of the boy.
We don't go to the home of the boy.
We don't go to the home of the boy before the marriage. The boys, the parents from the parents from the boy's side will have to come to the girl's side, and after that they go to the boy's side. After they have finished the goiter, they have done with the farewell.
Still, you're not answering my question. There is the first visit by the boy's family, which is called the shower, according to you, isn't it?
Which can be done or not be done.
Which can be done, but it exists. For me, I'm only concerned with whether there is such a requirement
It used
or
to be.
custom.
Yeah, it exists.
It exists.
Yeah.
And it is a separate and distinct ceremony from the coitor, isn't it?
It is.
That's why it's called a show-up as opposed to coitor, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
And I asked you, this show-up takes place on a different date from the coitor, doesn't it?
Nowadays, you can go as a show up and you go finish the engagement as per the parents. Like for example, I had a nephew, we had gone for show up, reaching there they told us, can you finish everything? And we did so because of time and also expenses.
And perhaps I'll remind you as you answer these questions, many of the people in this courtroom attend these functions every weekend. So my next question is, isn't the visit to the boy's family part of that process? Isn't it a distinct ceremony on its own?
That is after the engagement.
After the coitor, of course,
After the
isn't
coitor,
it?
yeah, it is.
So you will agree with me that after coitor, the girl's parents and relatives visit and conduct a ceremony at the boy's family, isn't it?
If there is a wedding.
No.
Yes.
Weddings
if
are
there is-
actually foreign concepts. They are church things. We are talking about Nandi customary marriage.
With the Nandi customary law, there is also a marriage.
With the Nandi customary law, don't the visits of the parents and the relatives of the bride conduct a visit or a ceremony at the boy's family?
They do so.
They do so.
Yeah.
Did you do any such visit at the family of Honorable Linturi?
No, we never.
You did. You didn't.
We didn't. Because,
No, you tell the because at another stage.
okay.
The shower. Did Linturi's parents and relatives conduct the shower?
They didn't.
They didn't.
They didn't show up because
No.
Maryanne had
Because
had a marriage.
we've
and-
had your answer. The answer is that they didn't.
Yes, they
There was
did.
no shower.
There was no show up. We combined everything to be one.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll deal with that.
Yes.
But for the record, for now, please confirm that the shower, which is a distinct ceremony, was not done. That is your testimony.
Yeah, they never did a show up, but
They never did the shower.
they combined the same thing on that day.
And on the same note, you also never did the ceremony that comes after Koito at the home of Linturi. Did you or did you not do it?
My Lord, we never did that because Maryanne had been married. First, she had had a first marriage, and with a lady who has done so, they come for the goiter and farewell, and that is the end. And that is the wife of that person. And that is as per the culture.
Let's come to this goiter. Would I be right to say that goiter is no more than an engagement ceremony? In fact, in your statement, you say Linturi came to ask for the hand of Maryanne. That's what your statement says. So my question is, would I be right to say that Koito is no more than an engagement?
What do you mean by that? Can you elaborate?
That what happens at Koito is that the girl and the boy promise to marry each other.
Yes, of course. Immediately you come and request that is already your property.
So the Koito, my question is, the essence of the Koito is simply that the bride and the groom affirm that they have agreed to marry.
Yes, that is it.
That is the essence of the Koito, isn't it?
Yes.
And therefore, it would be right to say the Koito is not a marriage, it is just an engagement.
Goito, once somebody has come in, according to the culture, goito, you sit, you come to an agreement, the dowry is paid. Once the dowry is paid, and you cement it with the cultural mursik that is called Mwaita, that is over. The ceremony now is over.
There is a ceremony called the directive, right?
I don't know that one.
You don't know that one?
There is a specialist who will come for
Is
that.
there a ceremony, or is there no ceremony called directive, which is part of the processes of Nandi customary marriage?
Once you come, once dowry has been paid, and you have cemented it with the mursik, and that is Mwaita, that is ratet. She has already been, that is tying a knot. Ratet is tying a knot.
It is tying a knot.
Yeah.
Did Linturi and Kitany tie that knot?
They did so because of the mursik we gave.
No, that knot involves tying what? You tie mursik or you tie something else?
I've said culturally, once the old men, and from both sides, and once the bride and the bridegroom have been called in to affirm whether the bride is the one and the bridegroom is the one, then that is already tying a knot, because that is saying yes, that is affirming that this is now my husband to be and this is my wife to be, and that is now tying a knot. You know, you can tie a knot with words. That is culturally. And after that, the old men will have to tell now the bride parents or anybody who has been sent to pay now the dowry.
This knot actually involves tying some grass, not words, correct? There's some special grass, symbolically,
that is
that
traditional.
The bride, yes, the marriage we're dealing with here is a traditional marriage, right? So, did Linturi and Kitany tie that special grass?
I am a pastor, and that cannot be done in my house, yes. Tying of grass
Did
cannot be done in my house.
Did they or did they not tie
They
it?
didn't tie that.
They didn't tie it.
But there was mursik, which was a symbolic of tying a knot. Yes.
We'll deal with the mursik for now. I'm only interested in you confirming.
But I'm confirming there was tying because Maryanne was called to affirm whether this was the genuine man.
Nobody is doubting that mursik was drunk at this function.
And there is affirming. Maryanne was asked, can you affirm? Can you show us, is this the genuine man?
Exactly, that is not my question, Rhoda. My question is whether they tied the grass or the knot, and your answer is that they did not.
Because that is not done in my house.
It is not done in your house?
Yeah.
Even when your daughters decided to celebrate the Nandi customary marriage?
There was no grass. There was Mursik instead. And
were Linturi's parents present
they were not.
at this function?
They were not.
They were not. Linturi's brothers, were they present?
I don't know whether they were.
Were they or were they not present? Either you know or you don't know. Were they present? And someone is whispering to the witness, my lord, I'll take offense at this. This bench is.
I'm not whispering.
Not you, I say this bench.
I noticed it and just kept quiet. A good lady in between angry streets. I saw it, I just kept my cool. But at some point, if you were going that way, then I would have come.
So the
Because I
next,
think it's only fair that we move on from that bench for the comfort of all of us.
Let's leave it at that for now. But Big Brother is watching.
Also, on that note, I think the witness should be facing the court and
That's okay.
instead of
The big brother is
Let's address me.
did Linturi's brothers and sisters attend that function?
We never affirmed the brothers.
You never affirmed. Did Linturi's brothers and sisters attend this function?
We never affirmed the brothers, but they were
You
old.
never confirmed
Yes, but
whether
the old men were there.
we can show you the pictures because we have found them. Have you seen the picture of any brother of Linturi in the various photographs that have been filed in court of this ceremony?
And I have not.
You have not seen any brother of Linturi there.
But I've seen one in Meru.
No. We are talking about the ceremony that took place in your home.
I cannot identify this was the brother.
You cannot identify,
Yeah.
not even with the benefit of seeing the pictures. At the Arambe, you said Linturi came with dignitaries, with 6 choppers and whatnot. Did he bring those dignitaries to the ceremony at your home?
No.
No.
That was his private life.
Of course, it's private, but my question is, did Linturi, who is an honorable member of parliament and famous Kenyan who came to an Arambe with 6 choppers and dignitaries, this occasion of non-customary marriage, was he accompanied by any of the dignitaries that came to the other function?
No.
No.
That was his private life.
Okay.
You can decide to take or not.
You said how many people did he bring there?
19.
19.
Yes.
I want you to look at the judge and tell us whether you seriously want the court to believe the Honorable Linturi went to a customary marriage that was not graced by any of his relatives.
I don't know whether they were relatives or not there.
No. Please look at my lord. I put it to you.
Yes.
It's a fact actually, no relative of his came to that function. That you say was a cointor or whatever you call it. And I told you, look at the judge and tell him whether you seriously want him to believe that there was an event as important as a marriage ceremony or whatever, but Linturi never took his father, never took his siblings, never took his relatives there, never took a single dignitary, notwithstanding his status in society, but he nonetheless want the court to believe it was a marriage ceremony.
My lord, with a marriage, you can decide whether to take dignitaries. Secondly, with the parents, it is a must, though they were not there, because we heard that there was another marriage which was done, and that because of that affidavit which they had brought from court. And with the Kalenjin culture, you can decide It is allowed. You can bring friends or even a distant relative to represent them. It is allowed.
Please confirm that your documents say this event took place on 16th April. That's what your affidavit says, right?
My affidavit is, there is a correction which I did.
I'm not talking about the correction.
Okay, let me explain.
Please answer my question. We'll just show you your affidavit.
So let me explain then.
Can you read it to us? I told you get a chance to explain. I'm not interested in the explanations. According to your affidavit, when did that function take place?
It took place on 26th March.
Is that what your affidavit reads, or 16th April?
We changed the date, my lord, from 16th to 26th to accommodate the people who are coming to Goita on the Easter holidays, which was...
My question is, and we'll come to the amendments, please confirm that all the previous statements, except the one you filed last week, claim that this ceremony took place on 16th April. Is that correct, or am I reading things into your documents that are not written there?
You are reading, but there is a newly signed affidavit.
We will deal with the newly signed. I want to deal with the old ones first.
Your Honor, we ask you for direction from the court. Will somebody be asked of what is dead? Is there already the first affidavit has been amended? Does it exist in law after an amendment? Does it still contain the same content that have been amended? My position is that she can only be cross-examined on what she has amended. By the mere fact that she has amended, she has admitted that there were errors in the substantive or the first application. And that's what the witness is saying, that she has amended. Therefore, the earlier position is already dead, and it is admitted that it is not 16.
Your Honor, if I remind my colleague, we crossed this bridge about when I was explaining why we cross-examine witnesses about prior inconsistent statements. Luckily, in this case, statements in your file. He says they have been amended. I don't know when he obtained leave to amend them. Perhaps he will tell us when. I don't know when he withdrew, because merely amending, even if you file an amendment, and just for the record, these amendments were filed last week. It's actually dated 23rd, today is 25th, 2 days ago. Okay? So the old documents are still part of the record. I have not had an application before you to withdraw. But even if such an application had been made and granted, it would not stop us in cross-examination from pointing to the witness the inconsistencies between our evidence now on the dock, between the current affidavit and the previous affidavits. We cannot run away. Cross-examination would be meaningless. It would not serve any purpose if we can run away from those discrepancies. And there is a reason I'm asking, only that my colleague is interjecting too early.
Let me cut you short. Just proceed. You'll have a chance to cue out.
Only that, Your Honor, we can also clear this here that we did do away with the rules of evidence. To seek leave, to bring evidence, to seek that if counsel now...
I have no recollection of any such. The only rules we waived, Your Honor, were about electronic documents. And I recall us saying that because they were both relying on electronic evidence and we were relying on it, and both sides had difficulties of strictly. I don't recall us agreeing that witnesses cannot be shown their previous inconsistent statements, especially when, as I stand here, those statements are still on the court record. Because they have not been expunged, they are part of the record, filed voluntarily by the witness.
Proceed. I've already given the direction.
Court has given direction.
So please confirm Rhoda, that your previous affidavits and witness statements say this function took place on 16th April of 2016. Is that what they say, or is it that not what they say?
As per my affidavit, it says so it was 16th.
It says it was 16th.
And my lord, Maryanne.
No, I can ask you the question you want to hear. Please confirm that your latest statement, the amended one, says the ceremony took place on 26th, because that's what we want to hear.
Yes.
That's what it
Because
says.
Maryanne had requested us to change the date because they wanted to come on an Easter holiday eve.
You will agree with me that marriage is an important function, it's an important milestone in life, right?
Yes.
And it being an important milestone in life, it is not an event over which one would easily confuse the dates.
You can confuse a day
No.
with age.
Just answer me. Ordinarily, a marriage or the date of a marriage ceremony ordinarily is not one of the things someone would confuse the dates. Would I be right to say that? So that if you have confused, there must be something extraordinary. Would you agree with me that ordinarily, marriage being such an important milestone in life, people do not confuse the date they got married?
Age factor comes in, my lord.
Age factor.
Yeah.
The same age factor apply to your daughter?
I don't know about her.
Okay.
Yes.
The same age factor, you gave us several witness statements, and of course I'm aware they're not your statements, of about 20 people. All of them made the exact same mistake. You want to tell, you look at my Lord in the eye and tell him you want him to believe that you and all your relatives and your daughter, more than 10 people, about 20 people, made the same mistake as to the date of this ceremony.
My lord, I've said it was a request for the date to be moved from April 16 to an Easter holiday, which was a holiday, because these people knew why they moved to that place.
You know, you have explained away your confusion by age. Isn't that what you've told the court?
But I've said we moved from 16
Fine.
to 26 because 26 was an Easter holiday, my lord, and they wanted that. And that
You
was
know,
the
Rhoda, I
request.
don't usually raise my voice at old people, but you constrain me to start doing it. I'm asking you, is it normal for several members of your family, and indeed all your witnesses in this case, to make a mistake as to the date the ceremony took place?
It was not a mistake, it was a request, sir.
It was not a mistake when you wrote the ceremony took place on 16th April?
That was a mistake, yes, because of the day.
That was a mistake, isn't it?
Yeah.
It is a mistake you made. It is a mistake your daughter made. It's a mistake all your in-laws made in their statement. And I'm pointing to you that it is unusual for several members of the family to make a mistake over such an important issue. You'll agree with me, it's unusual, isn't it? There would have been at least one of you reminding everyone, no, sorry, it wasn't 16th.
It was a typing error, my lord.
It was a typing error.
That is a typing error from the card, and then we moved. I've said it is a request. When we took the card, invitation card to them, they told us, please, can you change?
So was it a typing error or age? You have now offered a second explanation for the discrepancies. Which one do we take? You only said for you, it was because of age that you forgot. Now you're introducing a typing error.
I've said,
Which one shall we take?
you take now the age factor.
The age
Because of
factor.
the age, yeah.
For all these people made this mistake?
It was me who made the mistake.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and everybody had to take in because of the invitation card. We had sat as a family and invited them because they had given us 16. Later on, it is the people who are coming for the engagement change the date. So we had to go
statement
as...
you wrote, brother, did you actually make a statement or someone brought you a document to sign and told you sign here?
It is me who wrote.
It is you who wrote?
Yes.
Therefore, you would own this discrepancy, isn't it?
That is why I've changed.
Okay.
Yes. And come up with a clear sign.
I put it to you that this extraordinary coincidence where all your family members are mistaken as to the date only happened because the statements you have filed are contrivances. They are made up after the event to misrepresent the nature of the ceremony.
That is not the case?
That is not the case.
Yeah.
Is it also a coincidence that you claim a gentleman called Ensume was at the ceremony when he was not there, and your daughter told us a gentleman called Kailanya was at the ceremony? Because there is another similarity of the discrepancies. How is it? What are you going to tell the court to make of the fact your daughter said Kailanya was at that ceremony when he was in the US? You said Ensume was there when he was not there. And we don't know who else will come and say someone else was there and he was not there.
My lord, I think I've corrected that he was not there.
Is it possible to break an engagement? Can an engagement be broken under your customs? Can a couple who are engaged to get married break the engagement?
I don't know how you can bring it better, in a better
After a man proposes to another girl to marry her, which is what Koito is about, can he walk out of the promise to marry?
How?
Is he obliged to marry a girl merely because Koito was done?
My lord, I think I've explained that. What is an engagement? A process of activities in a room. Old men sit, they agree, they bring the lady, he identifies the husband to be, dowry is paid, and milk, mursik, is served to cement all this. And once it is served, it is known as mwaita. And that is now an engagement. They have reached an agreement. And that is why that one now is allowed, mursik is allowed, and the food to be served outside is allowed. If there is no agreement, no mursik. If there is no agreement, no food.
This invitation dated 16th April, what are they inviting people to your home as 16th April? After you changed the date, did you issue another invitation to cancel this one?
No, it was just verbal now.
It was now just verbal
And phone calls.
and phone calls.
Yes.
In your statement, you say you sent letters of invitation. Is that what your statement says?
Yes, and those are the letters.
No, this is not a letter, it's a card.
And I called it a letter. That is a card. Invitation card was the letter.
You know this is in your corrected statement. It's your corrected statement that actually talks of invitation letters.
I'm sorry, that is now invitation card, and we call them letters literally.
Have you attached that invitation letter or card to your revised statement?
That is the card which I invited them, and I've said...
Yeah, but unfortunately this one talks of 16th April.
Yes, I've said we made phone calls after that. I went and sat with my brothers-in-law in Kericho. After that, we made phone calls only. We never wrote anything else afterwards.
You told, my lord, that the motor vehicle KCN is registered in whose name?
My lord, KCG, not KCN.
Fine. Is registered in whose name?
KCG 850N is registered under Articon.
Under Articon.
Yes.
KCG
850N.
In your initial statements, did you indicate that this car was registered in the name of Articon? In your original 2 affidavits and witness statements, did you make that important disclosure that the car you claim was given to you as a gift was registered in the name of Articon? Did you make that disclosure in your original witness statement?
I never made because I didn't, it was not something which actually was important because the vehicle is mine.
In fact, you have only amended the statement because when your daughter testified, it became clear that you were never given this car. It is in the name of the company.
My lord, the company Articon, I'm a shareholder. Noniko is a shareholder. It's only later on I realized we have been removed without our consent. We have been removed mysteriously from registrar of companies. That is why we are not there.
You said Noniko is a shareholder.
Yes.
Have you placed any material before this court to show that Noniko is a shareholder of Articon?
Unless they require it now.
No, the answer is simple. Have you or have you not placed?
I have not placed because it was not a requirement. It is an engagement. When we come to engagement, we are not going to, we have not gone to all these requirements. We are in engagement and this is a reward. We have been given a reward, and once you are given a reward, nobody has ever come to complain that this property is mine. It is still mine up to today. If somebody comes to complain is when I can come up now and talk about it. But since there is nobody who has ever come
I put it to you that this car was not given to you by Linturi. Your daughter, when she was usurping the role of CEO of Articon, that's when you took the car. And now you've come to lie in court, it was given to you as a gift and as part of dowry.
My lord, the reward was given to me by my son-in-law on the fateful day, and he held the keys in front of all the 100 people and guests who were there. That was the end ceremony, and told me, this is to help you now for the duties, Maryanne.
Did you ever ask him to give you the logbook of that car? Now that he had gifted you the car?
I didn't ask him because I knew Articon, I'm a shareholder. How do I ask?
Did you ask him to fill the transfer form so that this gift could be complete to you?
How can I be transferred my property? Articon is me. I'm a shareholder.
You're a shareholder of Articon?
Yes. And how can I be transferred a property which is mine?
You are aware the registrar of companies reversed that shareholding you claim to have in Articon?
That is what now it is.
Are you aware it was reversed? That's the question.
I'm aware because we have reported the matter to DCI. It is under investigation.
As we stand here, doesn't your purported shareholding remain reversed by the registrar of companies?
My lord, all that appertains what he's saying is under DCI and we cannot discuss.
That's not my question. Of course it's under DCI. The question I'm asking, the current status of Articon as we stand here, do the official records indicate you as a shareholder of Articon or do they not?
That is why we are fighting. My lord, want to know who removed us from Articon.
I think it's clear, Your Honor, that she's not a shareholder of Articon, so that we don't get... My last question to you. Who is the mother of this child called Ivy Chepkemoi?
The mother of Ivy is Pamela Cherono.
Pamela Cherono.
Yes.
And who is the father?
To who?
Ivy Chepkemoi.
I don't know.
You don't know?
Yes.
Why did you in your statements indicate that Linturi is the father when you don't know who the father is?
You know, once you entrust somebody because he was Mheshimiwa had married my daughter. And once you marry and the children who are entrusted with Maryanne becomes now all of them Linturis and Maryanne.
Would
All
I
of
be
them.
right
You
to
cannot
say,
separate them.
isn't your statement misleading to the extent that it describes this child as the child of Honorable Linturi?
It's not.
It is
Once
not.
somebody is married and you have even extended children, they become yours. Because this child had been entrusted to Maryanne by the mother and me, and Maryanne was the custodian, and here they were married, and all the children Maryanne had were all theirs. They were Mheshimiwa's and Maryanne were all theirs. So,
Would the third party, like his owner, reading your statement, know those details you're now giving? Wouldn't they be led to believe Linturi is actually the father of that child?
of course, he is the father as culturally, because Maryanne is the mother.
My Lord, at this
Maryanne is
point,
a sister to Pamela.
My learned friend, Mr. Kranjo, will ask just 2-3 questions, then we'll begin with this witness.
Brief. It was your evidence that titles were stolen from you.
Not from me, from Maryanne, my lord.
So not from you.
From Maryanne, not from me.
It was your evidence that those titles are yours.
They are for the company of the family, Noniko.
So they are no longer yours.
They are mine because I'm the head of the family.
How many titles were stolen?
I know of Noniko. That is what I'm testifying.
How many titles? The number of title documents that were stolen.
I know of Noniko.
So there's a title called Noniko.
Yes.
So how many? You want the numbers? Maybe 2, 3, 4, 5, 10. How many titles were stolen?
I know of Noniko company.
So how many titles? I repeat that question. How many titles? The number of the titles that were stolen.
I know of one, my lord, Noniko company. Others are with the people who will come and testify, because matters are with the DCI.
You confirm an allegation of stealing is a serious allegation. Is it true?
My lord, that property was taken without my
I'm
consent.
just asking whether confirm, yes or no.
Yes, it is.
That's a serious allegation.
It is, and stealing is bad.
You are a pastor. You confirm.
Yes, stealing is a serious crime, or taking a
serious-
property
it's a
from
serious-
somebody.
Yes.
Yeah.
You confirm to this court you are aware of one title that was stolen. True?
I've said, my lord, Noniko company.
Let me go back a bit. Are these family properties that you're talking about, were they inherited or you bought them?
I bought them from the proceeds of my late husband.
You bought them from the proceeds of your late husband.
Yes,
You confirm to this court that you bought those properties,
yes.
but you cannot tell the number of the properties.
Unless if you want to be told, yes, I can say.
It's very
Because
easy. If you can remember, you bought those properties from the
I bought
proceeds
two-
of your...
I bought
Let me
two
finish.
buildings.
Let me finish. You answered that question. If you can confirm that you bought those properties from the proceeds of your late husband, you can as well tell us how many properties you bought from the proceeds of your late husband. True?
I have two buildings. I have other farms in Noniko, but I never bought with the proceeds of my husband. I bought two buildings.
Out of those properties that were bought from the proceeds of your late husband, how many titles were stolen?
I know of the two building titles.
So now it's not one, it's two.
Two buildings, yeah.
Very well, let's move on. You are aware of two titles.
This is one Noniko.
What are the title numbers for those stolen titles?
Unless I go refer, age factor comes in.
Age factor
Because there are so many nunicos elsewhere.
The two stolen property title documents, where are they situated?
Kileleshwa?
Kileleshwa.
Yes.
Both of them side Kileleshwa.
Yeah.
What are the developments on those properties?
Buildings.
What buildings?
Rentals.
Rentals. Properties, true?
And my sons.
When you are buying these properties, are they developed or?
They were already developed.
Already developed.
Yes.
Who had the custody of the titles that were stolen?
Maryanne had the custody.
Maryanne.
Yes.
And therefore, you belong to this court when you say titles were stolen from you.
But I've said Maryanne was the custodian. I think that is what I testified, my lord.
Very well.
Maryanne was the
had the custodian
because
of
she is the chair lady of the family.
Very well. She is the chair lady. As a chair lady of the family, what are the mandates of the chair lady?
It depends on the family.
For the family, what mandate have you given her?
We've given her so many things.
So many things.
And even the father mandated her.
Am I right to say one of
grandfather.
the mandates that we've given her is to deal with those properties as she wish?
No. Unless we sit as a family.
You confirm.
Because that, let me explain.
Let's move.
Because
Let's
that
move on. That one is answered.
okay.
You confirm that the issue of titles being stolen was told to you, and therefore you cannot confirm the authenticity of that story. You were told titles were stolen.
I was invited. I came to Nairobi, my lord. I was given the affidavits I read. And beforehand, we had a meeting last year, August, with the family of Mheshimiwa and our family from home, chaired by John Langat.
So you confirm you were told title documents had been stolen.
Yes, by Maryanne.
You were told, very well.
And she gave me the real signed affidavits.
You cannot confirm.
I confirmed because I read the affidavits of 40 documents. Those were not my signatures, they were forged. That's why I had to go to the DCI and report so that the authenticity of the signatures to be found out.
Answered my question. When were the properties bought?
I don't remember.
You don't remember. But
After
you
the
can
death of
remember.
my husband.
You can remember. When did Maryanne have the custody of the title documents? Which year?
Immediately they were bought. We sat as a family and entrusted her.
You confirm to this court that you are a director, or you are a director of Eticon?
My lord, I am still the director because the matter is in DCI. We are investigating who removed us. Not director, but shareholder. I'm a shareholder, not a director. Shareholder.
And therefore, as a shareholder, you have an interest in Eticon. How many shares do you have in Eticon?
I don't remember.
You can recall.
I can't recall. Age factor comes in.
For those shares that you claim you hold in Eticon, any consideration, any money paid?
Paid in what way? If you are a
For you to
shareholder,
become a shareholder of a company, just to explain a bit, you pay a consideration, some amount. How much have you paid or you paid?
that was done by my daughter and my son.
Very well. It was done by your daughter. Being a shareholder of Kitany, are you aware when it was incorporated? It was registered, in short?
I'm not.
You have no idea. As a shareholder, have you ever been called to any meetings of shareholders and directors?
Yes.
When last were you called for one?
We were called when the farm in Runda was being bought.
When
Because
was that?
Noniko was,
When was that? About in the year?
I don't remember very much the year,
Also the age factor?
but we were called, we sat.
Where was the meeting?
It was at Maryanne's home, Kileleshwa.
Joshua.
Yeah.
Where are the offices of Eticon?
They were in Parklands.
Accra.
Yeah.
And the meeting was held where?
They were there, but it had.
Where was the meeting held for the meeting for the shareholders and directors?
We had it in Maryanne's, then we moved to Parklands.
So you confirm to this court, you cannot tell on how Eticon was registered, on how Eticon was acquired. True?
With that, I cannot tell now.
You also mentioned barons. True?
Yes.
Who are the shareholders of barons?
I have my son.
You and your son.
Yeah.
Who is your
And
son?
there is Pamela.
Who is your son?
Collins.
Collins. The other name?
Collins Kipchumba Ngetich.
Very well. Are you the only shareholders director in barons?
We have there is a lady. I'm forgetting her name.
And barons is the one that you allege owns the stolen titles?
I've said that one is a matter of Baron, and I'm talking of Noniko. I'm not talking
Very well.
of
Let's
Baron.
go to Noniko then.
Yeah.
Who are the shareholders of Noniko?
Shareholders of Noniko is me and Pamela Kilomo.
You and
Pamela.
Pamela. Are you aware of a matter filed in High Court by barons against Eticon?
That would be talk.
I'm
I
just
don't-
asking yes or no.
No.
If I tell you that
Oh, Barons, yes, I'm aware of
you
that.
are aware?
Yes, I am aware.
Very
Yes.
nice.
Mm.
Very nice. In the supporting affidavit, this is in High Court's for case number 138 of 2018, 138 of 2018. It's between Barons Estates and Eticon Limited and 5 others. In the supporting affidavit of Collins Kipchumba, who you said is your son, paragraph 2 of an affidavit sworn in 13th November 2018. You said you can see the document, maybe I could read for you. Paragraph 3, it states that notably in mid-August 2015, the plaintiff, who is now Baron's, directors having been approached by an emissary to aid in the liquidity and workings of the first defendant, who is Eticon, the applicant agreed to stand as a guarantor to the first defendant seeking an overdraft facilities and charge its properties to Family Bank Limited. What would be your comment?
That is Collins' affidavit. It is not me, my
So
lord.
it's not your affidavit. In view of that paragraph of that affidavit and your allegation that titles were stolen, what would be your comment on that?
We just realized, my lord, last year, and that was 2015, that the titles are no more. That statement was 2015, and we realized in 2018 our titles were not more.
This statement was made on 13th November 2018.
13?
November 2018.
That is Colin. I've said me, I realized.
So whom you confirm is your son.
Yes.
Number 2, the director of Nonico.
My son is not Nonico, he's Barons.
He's a director in Barons. Very well. And the titles you claim they're in whose name?
They are in company's name, my
They're
lord.
in company's name.
Yeah.
Have you ever received any money from the Honorable Linturi?
I received what I said yesterday, 300,000 at Kilelesha when they were together with Maryanne. I was traveling to California.
So nothing, not even a call that has ever been transferred to your account?
And there was some amount which I bought some parcel. I don't know whether it was from where, but
So you confirm there have been some transfers of money?
it was from Maryanne. I knew it was Maryanne because I was talking with Maryanne. There was a parcel I was buying. So it came through Maryanne. I know it was Maryanne who was sending the amount.
How much was it?
It was 2 million.
2 million.
Yeah.
Very well. When was it? When did you receive the amount?
I don't remember very well.
Is it 2018?
I don't remember.
Roughly how many years ago?
Just a few years ago. It's just recent because the parcel is still there.
A shareholder of Eticon?
I said I don't remember the date. I don't remember. Just I've told you 8 factor.
When did you discover you had been removed as a shareholder of Eticon?
August
Which August?
last year.
August last year.
Yeah.
Is it your evidence that when you are getting or you are receiving the vehicle from Eticon, you are also a shareholder of Eticon?
Yes, that is why when even getting the insurances, I just call office.
Just call office.
Yeah, Kerote or Nora.
Very interesting.
Yeah. And they just send me the insurance of that.
And this is the car that you say you are gifted by Honorable Linturi. How could you, or how could he gift you with a company car that you claim you are a shareholder and all along you knew, and you want us to believe you?
Yeah, I was given the car. And once the car And
So the car was given by the company, not Honorable Linturi. True?
It was given by Honorable Kitany. And not the company, my lord. It's only the sticker which is reading.
Let me take you back to the engagement date. You said how many people were in the house?
My lord, the people who were in the house were my brother-in-law, Andrew, my brother-in-law, Naftali, Kimutai Ron, Zablon, and myself, and another mother. And the Kokwets, there was a Kokwet elder who came late, and also my brother-in-law, John Langat, came late. There was
So Lafrey, how many are those?
There are about 6, 7 up.
6, 7.
Yeah.
You confirm there were 6.
I had forgotten my brother-in-law, Naftali.
It was your evidence yesterday that it's only 6 persons were in the house. True?
I had forgotten my brother-in-law. Age factor comes in. You know, you forget. It is what? 65-year-old somebody, you forget things. Memory comes after.
How many women were in the house?
Who are 2.
2 women. Name them. Name the women who are in the house.
It was me and Mary, the wife of Geoffrey.
So 2
Mary.
women were in the house.
Elderly women. We don't take young people, elderly women.
Elderly women.
And from my family.
It was your evidence yesterday that your aunties, your sister, and yourself were in the house.
My sister delayed. Sorry, I've forgotten my auntie still.
Age factor.
My auntie was there.
How many aunties?
Salina and Lucia.
2 aunties.
Yeah.
2 aunties plus your sister.
My sister came late.
Your
She was
sister came late.
supposed to come in, but she
Plus
came
yourself. What's the number?
late. 2 aunties plus me. We are 3.
You are 3. Plus the sister.
My sister came
Can
late.
you explain? She came in.
Yeah, she came late.
She came latest, but how many finally?
She never even had. She met when the ceremony was over.
But yesterday you told us that she was in the house. True?
My sister.
Yes.
My sister-in-law.
Your sister-in-law. She was in the house.
Yeah.
So we had 2 aunties. How many sisters-in-law?
2.
2. Those are 4 plus you.
I've said 2 sisters-in-law and myself. And my sister came late. She was among those who are supposed to sit.
And now you want us to believe you that only 3 women were in the house.
Yeah.
In view of all these contradictions that are occurring in your statements, in your evidence, is it correct if I tell this court you've been lying all through?
I'm not lying. It's age factor, my lord. That's why even I forgot my brother-in-law, Naftali, who was
So
there.
all these mistakes, we learn them and say it's age factor true.
That's why even I've corrected the evidence because of age factor.
That's all.
Almost your age. It's only that we have a little age difference. So I do understand when you talk of the age factor. You are my friend. So I'm going to ask you a few questions. Questions that have not been related to by my colleagues. And I will speak very slowly with respect, because where I come from in Mumias, we respect people of our age. Yesterday you attributed the fact that Maryanne was the head of the family. Is that correct?
Yes, she's the chair. Even up to today, she's the chair of the family.
And today you say that you are the head of the family. Is that correct?
She is the chair of the family and I'm the head of that family. She's the chair. There is a difference between the head and the chair.
You talked of the Nandi culture,
Yes,
Nandi customary law.
yes.
Is it unusual for a Nandi man to kneel before a married woman when the man is also married?
I don't know that.
Did Suli, who happens to be my client, kneel before you?
He did.
How did he kneel? Can you show this court where he knelt? Could you stand up, please?
It's quoted. What do you mean?
Just stand up and demonstrate before the court. I can squat just to show the court how he did.
If I don't need go down.
Yes. So
He
when...
went down, so I cannot go beyond there.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yes.
Do you think that that is acceptable for a grown-up, Nandi, elderly person who comes from another Nandi sub-tribe, in which case Sudi is an Elegeyo, right?
I don't know the culture. I know he's a Nandi because he stays in Uasin Gishu. I don't know whether he's an Elegeyo, but I take him as a Nandi.
I'll put to you that Sudi is a Kalenjin, because Kalenjin is the umbrella of all.
Yes.
Right. And what did your daughter do before? Did she ever work in Honorable Ruto's office?
He did. She did.
For how long was she there?
I think it was from 2013.
Tell the court. 2013?
I don't know the number of years. My lord, I don't know the number of years. Yeah.
Did she ever give you money when she was working in Ruto's office?
She never gave me any money.
Did she ever give you 2 million shillings? You mentioned before, when you were being asked that you were given 2 million, just a few minutes ago.
That was, I think, between last year and 2017 and 2018 up. And that she was not in Ruto's place.
Did you ask where she got that money from?
I don't ask money.
So if I put to you that that money was stolen, will that be correct?
Yeah, I don't know whether she stole it.
If I put to you that that money was corrupt money, was that correct?
I don't
Can
know.
object to that line of
I
direction.
withdraw.
The council is having it. This is the second time the term corruption is being mentioned in this court.
My lord,
We take serious exceptions to that line of evidence. The first time it was alleged that the press, the media has been corrupted. No tangible evidence was presented before this court. No report at the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission that the media has been corrupted. The second question, aspersions are being cast. My client received money from the Deputy President's office corruptly. Your Honor, as much as this is a divorce proceeding with very high stakes, we urge this court to protect loose utterances that are not based on any fact. The character of my client and the pastor in the door is at stake. The media is at stake. My client cannot be able to take the doc to be cross-examined on that question. It was never put to her that she corruptly received money from the Deputy President's office. The witness number 2 has never worked in the deputy president's office. She's being asked questions that my client could have been asked. Your Honor, we urge this court to protect the office of the deputy president. It is not an ordinary office in this country for anybody to malalign the office of the second in command of this country. Your Honor, we take great exception. And the media who cannot talk, who cannot defend themselves, Your Honor, kindly protect institutions that are not parties in this matter. Kindly urge counsel to refrain from that line of cross-examination.
Your Honor, the court's direction will be given, but it must be pointed out that this question is not entirely without merit, because when PW1 gave evidence before you, she testified that she left the deputy president's office because of certain allegations around corruption and whatnot. So the question has not been picked from the skies from God. Number 2, is PW1 told you that she has not held a job other than at Articon where she claimed she was employed, and she refused to even tell you how much she was paid during whatever she claimed was a CEO role. This same person now, according to this witness, would somehow, after being jobless for some years, garner 2 million shillings while at Articon to send to her mother. 2 million shillings is no pocket change.
Let me weigh and give directions. The witness, when the issue of corruption has not been conclusively decided by an competent law, court of law, well constituted, we leave it at that.
Thank you, Your Honor. You did tell this court that part of the properties that you had, that's contribution from your daughter. Is that correct?
Which
part of the properties you were buying? You just told this court that part of the
There's only
properties.
one property.
Which one was that property?
Noniko in Kapsabet.
And how much worth was that property?
2 million.
When did you obtain that property or become a director in that property?
I've said Noniko, and Noniko has been existing.
You also told this court that that man who is here, Honorable Linturi, was a Papua, poor person. The person who was there, whose obligation was to marry a daughter because of money. Is that right?
My Lord, I've not said that he was poor. He's putting words in my mouth. I've not said so.
Didn't you say,
That question was not asked.
Your Honor, this is how it was framed? I'm sorry to raise my voice. The witness said today that part of the question, part of the elder questioning committee was to ascertain the fact of whether this marriage was a marriage of inconvenience or a marriage alluding to property which Maryanne had, depicting her to have been a richer woman and him to be a poor person. That's where I'm coming from. So I don't know how we can translate that.
Just put the question now.
So
It is true that you say that. So put the question.
you asked today to ascertain or to confirm whether somebody who gives you a million is a poor person.
My
Would that
Lord,
be true?
my Lord, I think I explained the origin of 1 million. You can merry-go-round, you can fundraise, and I didn't say that he was poor.
Now you accept you're a rich man. Look at the court.
I don't know the amount of money Mheshimiwa has, so I cannot say he's rich or poor, because I don't know his accounts, my Lord.
Have you ever lied before?
I've never lied. I'm a pastor, and that's why I'm sticking to the truth.
And have you ever paid your taxes since you were born?
Yes, I've been working, Ministry of Education, I've been a teacher. That's why I'm a psychologist, guidance and counseling, and I've retired. And upon retirement, you have to be cleared
Did you
with
pay your
KRA.
taxes? Did you pay your taxes last year?
We don't
Did you
pay-
file for taxes?
Yes, nil, because I'm not employed anymore.
And when you went to California, I live in California, by the way. When you went to California, you stated before this court that Mr. Linturi, whom you do not want to mention by name, offered you some assistance.
Yes, he did in Kileleshwa in the presence of Maryanne. They were together with Maryanne in Kileleshwa.
Going back to the chopper, is it correct to say that Maryanne is the one who organized for the choppers to come and paid for them?
I don't know whether she paid, whether she organized, but we received the guests, my lord.
When did you go to school for counseling?
I went in the year 2000.
Which college is that?
Kenya Methodist University in conjunction with psychological counseling.
How long did it take you as a student?
It's a diploma course which took me 3 years.
Is it full-time education?
No, it was an affiliate college.
So you obtained a diploma in theology and counseling.
Yes, not theology and counseling. Counseling is a different part. Theology is different. I have diploma in theology, diploma in psychological counseling. So I have 2 diplomas.
What kind? This could be my second 2 last questions. You did say in your testimony that you traveled to Nakuru to counsel a young lady who was related to Linturi. Is that right?
Yes,
Did you inform Mr. Linturi that you were going to counsel his daughter?
they knew very well I was going there.
Did you inform? Yes or no?
Yes, because they are the ones who told me to go there.
How old was that?
I helped the child here in Nairobi, in Runda, and after that she was taken to Nakuru.
Do you know the mother of that child?
I don't know.
You don't
Yes, I know the mother. We met in Jamaica.
Did you call the mother of the child to tell the mother that you're going to counsel her daughter?
No, I didn't. She met, in fact, it was an accidental meeting.
You can, as a mother, and the mother of Maryanne, and at your age, you are 65, I'm 60, you can wake up one day to go and counsel somebody's daughter without making reference to the biological parents of that child. Is that right?
My lord, when Mheshimiwa got married to my daughter, he was with the children, and all of them were all together. So, here in mind, you cannot separate children whose parents are there. Maryanne was there, Mheshimiwa is there, and they were all together.
Final question, Mama. Final question. Did that man pay dowry to your family?
Yes, he did.
What did he pay?
He paid 100,000 shillings.
Is it unusual or usual for the Nandi customary law to allow dowry to be paid in the form of money to a lady who has already been married and divorced with children?
My lord, it is allowed, and nowadays, because of what the environment is, or because of destination, people call it now envelope or basket money. So they convert, they sell, or they do what they do. We come and do the face value, and they pay in cash. Because you cannot transport animals from Meru to Nandi.
Your witness.
Your Honor, that would be the end of cross-examination for this particular witness.
Yes, my lord.
Did you do the first statements?
Yes.
All these statements are yours?
They are mine.
Which statement do you want to rely on?
The latest.
The one dated 23rd of September 2019?
Yes, my lord.
So that is the official statement that you have now.
Yes.
Number two, my good friend told you that you described that Mheshimiwa, who you don't call by name, came with 6 choppers.
Yes, he did.
With several dignitaries.
Yes, my lord.
And gave 1 million Kenya shillings.
Yes, my lord.
And they gave you a car, a Nissan X-Trail.
Yes, my lord.
And you asked whether you know the value of that car.
Yes,
Do you know the value of that car?
I don't.
Have you ever done valuation of that car? Do you know the value?
No, I've not.
Why? Why haven't you ever decided to know the value?
You know, a gift is a gift that you don't value.
A gift is a gift.
Yeah.
A gift from who?
A gift from my son-in-law.
From your son. Then you were asked, you know how this generated a lot of heat in the morning. That such a man is a man of means. Such a man with 6 choppers is not a man of straw. You remember the advocate insisting on that question?
Yes.
And he told you that this is a multi-billionaire man because he's not a poor guy.
Yes, my
You remember that question?
Yes, I do.
What is the true position?
My lord, the way I know now.
No, here we use your honor.
Okay.
Let me correct you. The High Court.
Honor, okay.
Oh, thank you.
Yes, my honor. The way I know Mheshimiwa.
You go, sir.
The way I know Mheshimiwa now is a fraudster, a conman. Why?
You don't know we're going to object because we are back where we were with PW1. The witness is asked a question 5 times, 6 times, she ducking the question. She refused to answer my question. Whether we could deduce from our own evidence that Linturi was a man of means. She refused. I recall we wasted about 10 minutes on that issue. Now that she's being re-examined, she wants to answer the question when we will not be able to test that answer by cross-examination. She's now, of course, very happy to yap. He's a fraudster, he's a conman, he's whatnot. These are the things she ought to have said them so that we interrogate them.
My lord,
And it is not permissible, my lord, unless the rules have changed, and it's me who teaches these rules at the university. And to the best of my knowledge, they have not changed. It is just not permissible.
Yes, you're right. There must be a finding. Again, I say this. There must be a finding. To the extent that he has committed certain crimes so that he can be labeled with those words. So let's tone down. Let's tone down. It's not a problem.
Yeah, but even then, Your Honor, I will still need direction.
This question that Mheshimiwa, as he is in the ordinary course of business, can he fail to pay for holidays? What was your answer?
my answer was, I don't know his bank account.
So were you given any document to confirm that he can afford to pay?
No. So I don't know his.
From all these evidence that you have been shown here, from the evidence of Mheshimiwa, is there any document showing capacity?
No.
Nothing.
No, sir.
You were asked the same question about him building a home for his parent. You remember? That in the ordinary business, can a member of parliament Can
Your Honor, that was not the question, and we cannot engage in semantics and legal sophistry. The question, the cluster of questions, all which the witness refused to answer, was that she had given evidence of a man who came with choppers, with dignitaries, who gave $1 million, who gave a car and whatnot. And the question was simply whether a man who is capable of doing all those things would ordinarily fail to pay his rent, fail to pay for his mother, and fail some sort of financial difficulties that I say was part of the narrative in this case. So counsel should frame the question the way it was asked. If it is re-examination, the only thing this witness can clarify is whether a man who did all those things, the choppers, the whatnot, would still be able, or rather fail to pay his debt, fail to do all these other things I asked. It cannot be asked as though the question was asked generally about Linturi's finances and bank accounts and whatnot, the drift. And that's what I say, we cannot eat our cake and have it. The witness chose not to answer the questions. Counsel cannot help her by reframing the questions that were asked in cross-examination in a manner other than the way they were asked.
You know, the questions, it's true counsel put those questions. And the court record will say her answer was, I was not given accounts.
And I think that is...
And she was denied the chance to explain what account means. I'm only putting her to explain the meaning of accounts.
The question was not about accounts, Your Honor. That's why we keep wasting your time here. The question was not about Linturi's and his bank accounts and his M-Pesa and whatnot. The question was, if I may remind the court, the witness then told you Linturi went to a place with 6 choppers, with several dignitaries, with all those things that depict a man of means. And then the question was, would a man who did all these things you say he did ordinarily fail to pay his rent? It was never a question about the bank accounts of Linturi or his M-Pesa account. It was a question whether a man of the type she had described in her evidence in chief would ordinarily.
You know, the answer was, I don't know his accounts. I'm only asking and expounding what an account means. I'm not asking any other.
And that's not an issue, it's not relevant.
It's not admissible. It can't be you to decide what is relevant. She said she was not given accounts. She needs to explain what accounts. That is all I'm asking.
Your Honor, that question was not framed the way senior counsel.
I'm asking what her answer means.
As we go into the records, confirm what my learning colleague requested.
I think we are at the point of departure. I'm not rephrasing their question. I'm telling her to explain what the statement I was not given his accounts mean. That's all. Is she entitled to expound what the statement I don't know his accounts mean?
Your Honor, the question that was asked, and we will require a ruling from the court on this if it comes to it. The question that was asked, or the series of questions that was asked, was whether a man of the type the witness and described in evidence in chief would ordinarily fail to bail for his mother, would ordinarily fail to pay his rent. And ordinarily when I was asking, because I told you the reason I was asking those series of questions is that part of the petitioner's case was that the Honorable Linturi was an economic parasite. That's the language I used, and I explained why I was asking that question. So I will still very humbly request the court to provide clarity on this, because the scope of re-examination is limited to clarifying the issues raised in cross-examination. What is the issue that was raised in cross-examination? It was whether a man of the type that the witness described would, in the ordinary course of events, fail to pay his rent, fail to do the other things I asked. That is the only question this witness can clarify in re-examination. It is not another bite at the cherry for this witness to tell you a long, winding story of irrelevancies about the Honorable Linturi and his finances. And that's the law. It's not me saying it. It has been like that since the common law days. It is like that up to date.
We tackled certain issues that came up during cross-examination, so as the witness can clarify the same and firm up their positions as at the time when they were examining the chief. In this case, certain questions were asked about the financial probity or otherwise of the defendant's hearing, and it is in order for the witness to be examined the same. It should not be lost to us that cross-examination is a tool that seeks to dislodge the witness from the position of direction she took during the examination of chief. The examination therefore seeks to affirm what she had stated in the examination of chief. Reference has to be made to questions put to her during cross-examination. What counsel should guard against is to either distort the question so as to take parties at the court to a totally different vector. I also direct that questions that were not answered cannot be revisited at this stage, because then there are no answers that were given. The only path that can be taken should be in regard and in tandem with the answers that were given at the time, for which interjections were made, and this court did make side notes as regards what transpired. So let's go on that.
Much about the payment for holidays that Honorable Linturi, in his ordinary course of business, can he fail to pay holidays? Your answer was this: it can be through Harambes or merry-go-round. You remember that answer?
Yes.
I don't know if anybody has an objection, but that was the answer.
It's a leading question, Your Honor.
I'm only
It's not
reading.
allowed. The witness can be asked questions in re-examination. The counsel has already told the witness what she's only confirming an answer that has already emanated from counsel. It is not allowed in re-examination, and I really need, Your Honor, I'm not the frivolous type of trial lawyer that wants to be on their feet at every moment when my adversary is on his feet, but he's leaving me no choice.
Now, the bone of contention is that according to counsel, there was no answer from her. I am giving in verbatim the answer to confirm if that is the answer that they collected from her.
The most you can do is ask her what answer did you give. Counsel cannot tell her the answer first. Perhaps he seems to think he's in cross-examination. I have to remind him he's in re-examination.
Well, if he has
That is not allowed in re-examination. It is not allowed in examination in chief.
If counsel has confirmed that she gave answers, then we proceed. What was your answer to that question?
Sir, Honorable Sir, I had said money can be achieved from merry-go-rounds and Harambes.
Is that your position up to now?
Yes, it is.
Thank you. You were asked this question that with his ordinary and dignitary groupings, can he fail to build a house for his parents. What was your answer?
My answer was that I don't know his accounts, I don't know his money.
You don't know his accounts and you don't know his money.
Yes.
Thank you. You were asked whether you are aware the Honorable Mithika Linturi is a sitting member of Parliament, and that can he fail to get a private school for admission of his child? What was your answer?
My answer was the same. I don't know his financial status, nor his account.
You are asked that with his ordinary dignitary status, can he, as a member of Parliament, be ejected from a house for non-payment of his rent? What was your answer?
My answer was still the same, that one can fundraise or do a merry-go-round, and I don't know his financial status.
Question about whether he stole title deeds. You remember that question?
Yes.
It is a question that will go 3-4 times. Anita will cross-examine, will lead you on it, I will lead you on it. And you will ask this question: how many title deeds were stolen?
2. My Lord.
2 title deeds
2
were stolen.
for Noniko and for Baron. But I'm talking of Noniko.
The title deeds that were stolen belong to who?
Noniko.
Noniko Company.
Yes.
How many by number?
2.
2. You were asked whether you have provided a copy of those title deeds by Mr. Linturi, by Mr. Muthomi. What was your answer?
I have not, because this is a marital status, this is a marital case, and title deeds is in another court.
So this is not an issue about properties. You were asked whether you have provided a copy of the certificate of search for those properties. What was your answer and what is the position?
I've said no, marital issues are discussed here and properties issues are not discussed in this place.
So you have not produced any official search?
I have not.
Thank you. You were asked that how, if these signatures was forged, what action did you take? Expound on it.
My Honor, I was called at the DCI's office. I went and recorded a statement, and they took my signatures at the DCI's.
Expound further on that element.
Upon realizing that my title deeds was stolen, I was called at the DCI's office.
You was called
I was summoned.
you were summoned
Yes, by the DCI.
by the DCI.
Then I went, recorded a statement. I was given papers to sign my symbol of signature 30 times.
Proceed.
And from there, the DCI is still investigating that matter.
So it is your evidence that this matter is still in the hands of the DCI.
Yes.
When did you discover this? You asked whether, when did you discover, yes, if the title deeds were stolen?
That was in August last year when we were in a meeting.
Discovered that in August last year when we were in a meeting. Who stole the title deeds?
It was Mheshimiwa.
Mheshimiwa stole the title deeds.
Yeah.
He stole the title deeds from who? Remember you asked who had the custody of these title deeds?
From my daughter, Maryanne.
You are asked whether you are a director or a shareholder of Article. You remember that question?
Yes, I'm a shareholder of Article.
When did you join?
It's somewhere 2017, somewhere there.
Around
Not-
2017.
Around there. I'm not very clear.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You are asked whether you reported the stealing of these title deeds to the police. What was your answer?
My answer was the matter is with the DCI.
Did you report yourself to the police?
No,
No. Who reported?
Maryanne.
Maryanne.
Yes. Because I'm very far in Nandi.
Thank you.
And the reason why Maryanne reported, she's the one who was the custodian of the property.
Thank you.
One of the problem I had, when this witness is now happy to tell you Maryanne reported this matter to the police. When I was showing her Maryanne's statement with the police, she doesn't want to answer the questions.
You know,
It is still trying to have an unfair match.
I'm going to the question of the police.
It is still unfair, Your Honor, because the witness refused when she is now confirming, which she was refusing that time, that this matter was reported to the police by Maryanne. When I was showing her the statement by Maryanne to the police, and of course showing her that in that statement, Maryanne never reported that the titles were stolen. She actually reported that they gave securities. That time she didn't want to confront those questions, but now she wants, and that's what I'm saying. Perhaps I can use an analogy. You know, when people go to a church, they are told, do you have an objection? Say it now or forever hold your peace. I must tell everyone in this court, when you come to testify in court, the stage that is meant to ascertain the truth is cross-examination. It is not examination in chief, and it is not re-examination. Cross-examination is a tool we use to ascertain the veracity of the evidence. If you decide to shut up in cross-examination, then you should be ready to forever hold your peace. You cannot resurrect and now want to start delving into things you refused to answer during cross-examination. But if this witness is allowed, I'll make a request that for such issues as she now wants to open up, which she refused to open up during cross-examination, we get another round of cross-examination to cross-examine her now on the answer she wants to give you, which she refused. And again, that is the law. If you introduce a new matter that you refuse to introduce during cross-examination, the law is you have to be cross-examined. Otherwise, the whole proceeding we are doing here will be just a charade, as I keep saying.
Let me paraphrase the question.
Before to her to elicit probity of evidence, she feigned old age. And at this particular time, I'm asking the court, for the first time, and by grace of God, if you could put it on record, myopic categories in these witnesses, particularly this one. Myopic categorism is a term used a person who is very difficult to contest in terms of soliciting information. She's lying, and she's lying again. Thank you.
We cannot put that on. We'll make a specific finding on the character or credibility of those witnesses.
The only reason I'm objecting, Your Honor, we should get formal rulings on this issue. Can the witness refuse to answer questions in cross-examination, but in re-examination purport to be able to answer those very same questions? The same witness who had so many memory lapses during cross-examination, now the memory is fully recovered. She's ready and willing. Perhaps if I wasn't interjecting, she's now ready and willing to tell you until the conversion of the Jews what actually happened. I actually think both Bar and the witnesses and everyone, the court should actually reprimand anyone, Your Honor, for that kind of frivolous conduct, because it is to trifle. It is to trifle with the process of justice. That's why earlier on in the morning I had pointed out, even there is a chapter in the Penal Code, offenses relating to administration of justice. The witness must remember, my lord, this is not our cause. The witness on the door, she has no case before you. It may be her daughter's case, it may be her son's case. She is not the party to this case. Our only duty to this court is the duty of candor and the duty to answer questions. The fate of the case itself, only Your Honor can decide at the end of the day which is the party whose case you will uphold. The witnesses are not stakeholders, so that they should take this curious approach. Your Honor, I've practiced law now for almost 15 years. This is the first case in which I'm seeing this behavior.
A general narrative is being created that the witness never answered anything, which is not the truth. That's why I took the direction to quote all her answers in verbatim. The respondent's counsels are either they were not in court to record the answers she gave, or the answers were not pleasing.
That's not true, Your Honor.
I have mine. You have yours. The court has theirs. And that is the direction I was going. Ask the question, provide the verbatim answer. He confirms that that is the verbatim answer he recorded. Then we proceed. The witnesses is what she answered and confirming. She's not adding anything. I have not asked her about the police statement. Counsels have already jumped to raise issues about the police statement. I have not asked anything about the police statement. I have only asked the question of the stealing of the titles. Let them hold their horses. I'm heading to the question of the police statements. Let us not be speculating what the witness is going to ask. Then with that, let me proceed where I was.
Wait. These proceedings, this is like my, I think, third or fourth direction on the issue of cross-examination. First, it started PW1 and subsequently given other directions. The position has not changed. They have been consistent. What I said is very clear. The witness can clarify on the answers she gave. But we cannot revisit, and there are a number of times, and I confirm where the witness said she cannot remember because of age. Not manner. Those questions cannot be revisited at this stage, where no answers were given because I don't want to take that route that the previous council is saying, that we reopen again. That is, the legal expert, I can tell you, that is opening a room for disaster. And I'm not ready to go that route. It's a very treacherous route and they are likely to collapse midway. So let's just stick to the normal way we do our things and we sort it out. So I still insist, those questions that she said and we respect, it is true that she forgot. Those ones, we leave them at that. Because no questions are given. Because of forgetfulness. But those others that she gave, even if it's yes, no, because even that is a technique that was employed, the yes, no answers, there's nothing wrong in now saying, you said yes. Why did you say yes?
Thank you. No answer you gave of you are forgotten. Up to where I've reached.
That's a leading question, Your Honor.
No, I want to put it on record that we have not reached where age is coming up. When we reach there, I will also ask her to confirm.
It's still a leading question, Your Honor.
I'm addressing the court. I'm not addressing my part. So let me proceed where we reached. What did you tell the court about directorship of article? That's what
The director of Articon and shareholder of Articon. No, I'm not the director, but a shareholder. Sorry, I'm the director of Nonico. I'm a shareholder of Articon.
Thank you. You were shown a police statement.
Yes.
Maybe you can get me that statement that you were shown. The police statement. It's there to save time. Counsel, your eyes so that you can. You are shown that statement. True?
Yes.
Were you shown any police OB number to report a case?
No, there was no police OB number.
New matter, Your Honor.
Yes, new matter.
All right. So that is what you were shown.
Yes.
Look at the pages, all the pages. Were you shown all the pages?
I was shown only one page.
Which pages?
First and the last one.
Look at the pages you are shown.
I was shown the signature of Maryanne.
Were you shown the signature?
No, I wasn't shown the signature.
You are not shown the
I
signature.
was just shown
You are shown page 1.
page 1 and something highlighted,
And something that was
highlighted in yellow.
Something that was read to you.
Yes.
Is that your statement?
Yes.
Is that your statement you wrote to the police?
This is
Did
not
you write that statement?
No, this is not me. This is
Thank you.
Maryanne.
Thank you. Let's leave about that. Yes, it's okay, sweetheart. What did you answer?
I answered that the writer knows that is the author of that statement.
That was your answer.
Yeah.
And is that the answer up to now?
Yes.
Thank you.
Because that is the author.
The author of the statement can answer that.
Yes.
Not you.
Not me.
Mr. Muthomi asked you that Ensum Midika, according to you and according to the statement, you had said that Ensum Midika came to the ceremony. You remember that question?
Yes, I had said so initially.
What is the true position?
He never attended.
He never attended.
Yeah.
Thank you. You were asked about Honorable Senator Mithika Linturi's mother. That do you know her by name? What answer did you give?
The answer I gave out, sir, was traditionally after the Goito, the Tumdo is over.
Those terms you don't know.
Tumdo is the whole ceremony. But let me go now to the Goito. Once the old men have agreed, first of all, when the lady has been called in to identify the husband to be, and she has been asked if the engagement ceremony can continue, if she agrees, then the dowry now is to be paid. That is the old man now to continue. After that, when the dowry...
The answer the question I'm asking. You do not know Mithika Linturi's mother by name.
I don't, because us in Kalenjin, that's why I was coming to that we call each other Bamwai. That is Mwaita, that is the milk we take, that is now the Mwaita. We call each other Bamwai or Batiem. And if you call names, it is very sarcastic.
So you're saying
Yeah, it is the custom.
under the Nandi customs, you can't make
Everywhere cutting across, you will find people calling each other Batiem, Bamwai. They don't call each other names.
Thank you. And by one Catholic father, Father Mishemi, an ancillary from the Catholic institution. Have a statement by one father, Mishemi, who celebrated the marriage between one Mr. Senator Linturi and one Mercy. You remember the statement?
Yes,
Masha?
I remember. I don't know about it because I'm not partisan to this.
You don't know about that?
I don't know about the marriage ceremony, if it took place or not, because I was not there.
You are not there. And that's the position up to now.
Yes.
Thank you.
You have to testify and say, I know, sir, if you know, and if you saw and heard.
Have you seen any evidence of the person who was married? That document talks about somebody Mercy.
I don't know her. I've never seen her.
Have they shown you any document from Mercy
No.
confirming that she was married?
No, I've not seen it.
You were asked this question, that can you doubt a Catholic priest?
No such question.
Mishemi is a Catholic priest. You were reminded?
Yes.
You were also reminded of a statement of an advocate, a lawyer.
Yes.
You remember?
Yes.
What did you answer about those two? The institution of Catholic and the institution of an advocate. The court about it.
Can you come out here so that I may understand the question?
The father who is a Catholic father. He's the author of that statement.
Yes.
Okay? You have said you were never part of that statement.
Yes.
The lawyer, the statement of the lawyer, he's the witness in that marriage. Were you present when they alleged to have done that marriage?
No, I was not. The year 2000, no. I'm only a witness to my daughter.
You were asked this very hard question. Have you presented any material before this court to challenge the video, to challenge the photos of the wedding? You remember that question?
I remember, yes.
Have you been shown the video?
That is what, sir, I wish I was shown the video. I wish I was shown the photos.
Could you want to see that video?
Yes.
You know,
they
we
can
see
show
the video so that my client can confirm.
From years.
You know, I wanted it because it has taken notice that it is true. She was never shown those photos.
I was.
We settled it like that. Settled that. Certificate?
Yes, I was shown.
Let you have it that way. It is purporting to be a marriage certificate. She can read to you for who?
For Franklin Mthika and Mercy Kemini.
Are you aware of that marriage?
I'm not aware. That is what I stated.
Were you present when that marriage was ever done?
No, mine is for my daughter and me.
So you have nothing.
I have nothing about this.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That question, are you disputing a marriage between Mithika Linturi and one Mercy? What was your answer?
I cannot dispute a marriage because I never presided over. I don't know about it. I think that was what I said.
Thank you. You remember that time for break? We came back. Whether you are a licensed pastor. You remember that question? What is the true position?
Yes, I'm a pastor.
You are a licensed pastor.
Yes.
You are then asked whether you are licensed to conduct a marriage.
No.
What is the position?
I'm not ordained.
You are not licensed to conduct marriages.
Yeah.
Thank you. You are asked whether you have undergone trainings about your training. What is your position?
Yes, I have diploma in theology and I have diploma in psychological counseling.
You were told that based on that, thou shall not give false evidence. You remember?
Yes.
You are inferred to the divinity of God. What is your position?
Come back to that question.
You are referred that it is morally and religiously wrong to give false evidence. What is your position? Have you given any false
I've
evidence?
never given any false evidence. I'm a pastor and I am genuine on what I'm talking about.
Well, whether it's a process or whether it's a 1 day or 1 minute exercise. You remember that question?
Yes.
What was your answer?
It is a process.
It is a process.
Yeah.
A lot of questions about the marriage, the Nandi marriage.
Yes. Yes, my Lord.
You remember the very many questions? You are asked about Koito.
Yes.
You are asked about boys going to the village of the girls going to the village of the boy.
Yes, Your Honor.
You are asked about a show up issue.
Yes, Your Honor.
You are asked about ratet, tying of the knots.
Yes, Your Honor.
What is your position about the issues of Nandi customary marriage?
My position, Your Honor, in the Nandi customary is we have the ancient traditional marriage and the current one, of which now it has Christianity inside and modernized. The ancient one is what had now the ratet, which was a grass which people used to have way back in the 30s and coming back to some years later in 60s. But nowadays they don't use that. It has been modernized. There, you want me to elaborate on that?
Yeah.
The Koito in Kitany, the relatives of the man can come up for a show up, and they can make that place, that ceremony, to be the goiter. Like we went, I think I elaborated, we went to my auntie's, show up, and reaching there they told us, finish everything. We went for the goiter, and there were very few. And we finished the engagement, and we paid the dowry there, and it was over. Because one, people are afraid of expenses and time management. You know, we are dealing with elites who don't have time, so we have incorporated them in the traditional marriage. Big marriages nowadays are done urbanly. Some are done in the way in the village, and people have converted to Christianity. And this Christianity, most of the things are dealt away with.
Are you?
No.
Who can do that?
There's a special person who's going to deal with that.
Thank
You know, as I told you, women are there to in the engagement to sit and see, not to talk.
Your role is to see.
To see and hear, not to talk.
Thank you. Why are you present when Linturi came? What was the answer?
Why?
Were you present?
Yes, I was. That was my home.
And the next question followed. Did you see his parents, his biological parents? Were they present?
They were not present.
They were not present. You are still asking the question about his brothers and sisters, siblings. Were they present?
I said I don't know. And Your Honor, sir, if we knew that this thing will come the way it has come, we would have diaries, we would have even signed documents. But since we were trusting and in the happy mood of trust, happy mood of my daughter getting a husband, we just did the way we did with trust. Otherwise, if we knew it was coming this way, we would have recorded and they would have signed. Then we would have known who were the sisters and the brothers. Otherwise, I don't know. And I think I said I saw one only in Meru, when I went to Meru at a site, construction site.
Thank you. Two dignitaries come in 6 choppers, true?
Yes.
And whether you saw any of those dignitaries during the marriage ceremony?
Yes, my lord.
What did you answer?
I said I never saw the dignitaries, and it was upon the person who was coming for my daughter to either bring his dignitaries or not to bring. That was his affair, private affair. That is my answer.
Was it your mandate to decide who comes with Linturi?
It was not. My mandate was to prepare food and cater for the family and everything. Otherwise, it is not my mandate. That is the mandate of the senators home.
You were people from Kalenjin land who are in the room. You remember?
Yes.
Mention a few.
Your Honor, Andrew Chepkwon, Lele, Zablon, Kimutai Rono, Councillor Limo.
Thank you. Those are the people to be present.
Those are the elders from our family.
Did Mithika give any instruction who should be present?
No.
From the Kalenjin side?
And
Thank you. Man, you remember that?
yes,
A very
Your Honor.
senior public figure. You remember?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you see, that you asked, did you see any of his contemporaries, famous people, present on that day? You remember that question? What did you tell the court?
I said I didn't know who were honors, the honors who were there. I didn't see any honorable person.
You didn't see any honorable person.
But all those people who came were honorable to us.
So you're saying that every person who appeared before you that day was honorable?
Yeah.
You see any street child there?
No,
Did you see any idol out there?
no,
Did you see any person? Think abroad, honorable and respectable.
Just for the record, some of us.
Mr. Muthomi, to ask you whether you saw any dignitary there. You have heard them say every human being is a dignitary. True?
yes, I have had.
And every human being is famous.
Yes.
Thank you. Still with the 19 people who came from Mary. You remember that question?
Yes,
That how many people came from Mary?
19.
Could you remember a few of them?
Yes,
Give the court the names of the people.
I can remember Mose, Rufus.
My good dad, my good people in the street will take you through that. Look at the card in English. Read for her what the card says, the heading.
Engagement invitation.
The court wants to hear.
Engagement invitation.
Yes, proceed.
We, the family of late Frederick Kitany and Miss Rhoda Kitany, Kapchomba of Kapcheb Mosin Village, location Nandi County, cordially invites Honorable Dr. Reverend Mr. and Mrs. John to the engagement and farewell party of Miss Maryanne Kitany and Honorable Mithika Linturi, which will be held at their home ground starting at 10 a.m.
Thank you. The first, it is invitation and what? Read for her. It is invitation and what?
Invitation and farewell.
It's allowed for the court. It is invitation and
Farewell party.
confirm that that is the English there. It is to invite and a farewell party.
Yes.
What is the meaning of to invite and farewell, according to you?
To invite the guests to the home
That is the invitation that happened.
and a farewell party that is to hand over, usher out our daughter to the married.
Kwaheri, Wongoi.
Yes,
There was going to come back if farewell has been done.
in Kalenjin it is a taboo,
Thank you. Let's proceed.
and that is why I said
Sit down.
yesterday.
Let's proceed. Look at which date is that thing put?
16th April.
16th of April. Confirm whether that card has the date it was printed. Does it have a date it was printed?
It is 16th April.
When it was printed? Does it have a date it was printed?
No, does not have a date of printing.
Does it have a date it was sent?
No, it doesn't have.
No, the young people confirm. Does it have a date it was sent?
No.
It doesn't have a date it was sent, neither the date it was printed. The only date there is for the function, on 16.
Yes.
Thank you. When was the marriage done?
It was done on 26th March 2016 on an Easter holiday.
It was done on the 26th of March, 2016. Why is there discrepancy between that card and that date? What did you tell the court?
I told the court that initially we had invited and sent cards with the date 16th, but Maryanne called and requested that the people from Senator's home with their friends wanted to change the date to be 26th because of so many issues they know for themselves. So they wanted that Easter holiday.
So the instructions to change came from Maryanne.
Yes.
And she defended herself that it was the request from.
From our honored guest.
Did you have any reason to doubt your daughter?
No. Yes, they did, my home.
And you saw them?
Yes, they came.
Did they come to your place on 16?
No. We had changed to 26.
So they appeared on 26. Has anybody denied that they did? Has the advocate asked you to deny that they never came?
No.
They confirmed. Thank you. When you were asked this question, is invitation same like marriage? Go to the Nandi version of that card. It is there. That is an English.
You don't in the absence of a court interpreter in any.
Get the date of the marriage, and everybody, 20 witnesses, including you, said 16th of April, when it was 23rd, 26th of March. You remember that question?
I remember.
And what was the first answer?
Me, I said the first answer was probably it could have been a typing error.
Typing error or
Age.
or age.
Wait, that was not the first answer. The first answer was age,
Then typing.
and then typo.
Okay.
But the arrangement is the court is Latin.
We have photographic memory.
So that's what is your age?
My age is 65 years old.
65 years.
Yes.
How many children do you have?
7.
7. You have a husband?
No.
Where is he?
He passed on in the year 2000.
So at that age, do you have the photographic memory like the court?
No. Because I am a father, a mother, manager, everything to that home. So some can get eroded.
Thank you. Did you have minutes to record for this transaction so that you can have the photographic memory?
No.
So you still want the court to understand that due to your age, there are things that you can forget.
And also due to the aspect that I'm a widow and I carry a lot of burden, I can forget other things.
Thank you. Children of 10 years also, can they forget?
Yes, they can forget.
Is forgetfulness an aspect of human nature?
It is.
Thank you. Then you raise the question of a typographical error. Expound to this point. What do you mean?
What I mean is about the first lawyers of Maryanne would have typed that affidavit wrongly. That was what I was saying, typing error.
I hope not.
Not you,
But
the
me,
first one.
can I make also a typographical error? Do I look like one in Kenya? Thank you. You have said it very well. Let's proceed. The contradictions, the coincidences of Ensum. You remember Ensum?
Yes.
His brother? You remember you were told your daughter had alleged that one Kailanya was present. You remember that question?
Yes, I remember.
And later, it was found that one Kailanya was not present, it was the wife. Then you are saying these errors. Is it that it's by coincidence some of these errors are reported to this court? Is it intentional? That's what I'm saying.
No, it's not intentional.
It's
Yeah, me, age factor.
it.
Yeah.
Are you apologetic for the errors
Yes,
that
I'm
are human?
Yes, I'm apologetic.
And do you admit that they are human errors?
Yes,
Thank you.
I apologize.
That once coitus has been done or an engagement has been done, can anybody break an engagement? Can anybody break coito. You remember that question? What did you answer?
Ask that question also.
You are told once coito has been done, can anybody break it?
No one can break it.
Nobody can break it.
Nobody can break a goiter.
Who can that?
The two who are married together can do it.
Through what process?
Through traditional and court.
Through this court.
Yes, through this.
Is that the reason you are here?
Yes, that is the reason we are here now.
Thank you. You were asked about letters in your statement, that you wrote letters or invitation cards. You remember that question?
I remember. I don't.
What did you do? Because the court needs to know, is it letters you wrote? Is it cards you did? What did you do?
I wrote invitation cards, my honor.
So
And
you,
after the failure of the dates, we changed the date. It was now through phone.
so according to you, is there any difference between when you say letters and invitation cards?
As at home, we just call them letters.
All of them are called letters.
All of them are called letters. Even if you go now home, they'll say, give me my letter, and it is a card.
When I was in your place and niliomba chai ya kahawa. You know that? People think tea, there's coffee, but it is called chai ya kahawa.
Yes.
Everything is tea.
Everything is tea, even if it is kahawa, they say it is tea.
So every message is letter.
Yeah.
Thank you.
New material, Your Honor.
No, that is only to make us not see about tea. Yeah.
Your Honor, for the benefit of the young people, they get
Motor vehicle KCG 850. You remember the motor vehicle?
Yes.
You asked about base vehicle. Kindly confirm the vehicle registration now.
KCG 850N.
KCG 850N.
Nissan X-Trail.
You are asked, it is registered under who? Both by Council Muthomi and Karani. Who is this vehicle registered under?
The vehicle is registered under Article.
Thank you. Kindly confirm the date you were given this vehicle.
I was given that vehicle on 26th March 2016.
Were you a director on that date
No,
of a company called Atcom?
no. Not a director, shareholder.
Go slow.
Not a director.
Were you a director of Atcom on 26th of March 2016?
No,
Thank you. Next question. Were you a shareholder on the 26th of March 2016 when you are being given the car?
no.
You were not. When did you become a director or a shareholder of Atcom?
No answer given.
Yeah,
There was no answer given.
There was no answer given.
yeah.
But say
I said I don't remember.
That's what I'm saying. That is an answer. Your Honor, that is an answer. Later confirm that she can't remember.
I can't remember.
You can't remember. That is the true position.
Yes.
Yes. But on the 26th, you are not a shareholder.
Yes.
And you are not a director.
No.
That's to me what I was after. About a company called Noneco. You remember?
Yes.
What answer did you give? Are you a director or a shareholder?
I'm a director.
You are a director.
Come shareholder still.
Come shareholder.
Yes.
You were told, still I had forgotten about this car, that this car came into your possession courtesy of your daughter called Maryanne when she was a CEO. She abused her office and gave you this car.
No.
You had that question?
I had, but that is...
What answer did you give?
I was not given even a chance to say, but she never gave me that vehicle. It is Mheshimiwa who gave me the vehicle, not her.
Whether you have a logo to this vehicle.
I said no.
You said you don't.
No, my honor.
Is that the position up to date?
Yes, my honor.
You were asked whether you signed or a transfer form was signed. What was the answer?
No, my honor.
No. Is it the same answer now?
It is the same.
You were asked whether you are aware that your shareholding at Atco was reversed. You remember that question?
Yes.
What is your answer? What did
I
you
said,
answer?
yes, I know. That is why the matters now are with the DCI.
You are aware.
Yes, I'm aware.
Did you transfer your shares at
No,
Atco?
I didn't.
What happened?
We were removed proudly.
What answer did you give? What was the process of removal? Was it a lawful process?
We were not conducted, neither communicated to, and that is what we say, it was done in the wrong way.
That is what you
That
say.
is now why the matters are with the DCI.
And that's why you're calling Senator a fraudster.
Yes. Because removing me without my consent, that is wrong.
You are asked of a child called Ivy Chepkemoi.
Yes.
You remember that child called Ivy Chepkemoi?
Yes, Your Honor.
You confirm that that child belongs to who?
Pamela Cherono,
Pamela Cherono.
my daughter.
Your daughter.
Yeah.
And you asked why you are, in your papers, you are claiming that Senator Linturi is the father. What did you explain?
This is how I explained. Maryanne was entrusted with a child. Since she was entrusted with a child, when Mheshimiwa came for engagement, she was with the children. And in Nandi, if, for example, let me use you as an example. If you come now and marry a child or a daughter of someone with children who are not yours, you will own them all and they will be called yours. Even if they are not, you are not the biological father, you will be the father because you have accepted.
So if I get a woman who has children who are lawyers, they will all become my children.
Kabisa. And you will inherit them and they will call you our father.
And I will be paid down.
Yes.
Thank you. Of those guys.
That is how the Kalenjin culture is.
So in cultural practices, you are saying Senator once he married your daughter, all the other children.
Became his. Plus his.
And all the children of his became hers.
Yes.
Thank you. I will now call my good sister Anita Masaki to deal with the evidence of Mr. Karanja. You remember?
Two.
Two titles belonging to who and who?
No, Nico.
And the second one?
Baron.
Baron. She also asked you if this matter was before the DCI.
Yeah. Up to today, the DCI is investigating.
And he also intimated that allegations of stealing is a serious crime. Are you aware of that?
Yes.
You also intimated to this honorable court that you bought properties from the proceeds of your late husband. Who was he?
He was late Frederick Kitany, who used to work. You have asked me who is he?
Yes.
Yeah.
He used to work with Kenya Power and Lighting as a surveyor. And you know, with surveyor, they can do outside job, and he had properties. And we managed to sell the properties and bought them land here. And other proceeds from his retirement benefits.
Mr. Karanja also asked you the title numbers, the ones that were stolen.
Yes.
What was your answer?
I don't remember, unless I refer to the title itself.
Okay.
Yeah.
Also, another question was where these properties are situated. Where are they situated?
Kilelesho,
Okay.
Baron is in South B, And I didn't mention that. I didn't mention. I just mentioned Kileleshwa. Because that one had not come into my mind.
The properties situated in Kileleshwa, what kind of properties are they?
These are houses, rentals.
At the time of buying them and the one who purchased them, were they developed?
Yeah, the ones in Kileleshwa, they were developed, and the other ones were not.
Again, to the issue of the titles, in whose custody were they in?
They were in the custody of Maryanne.
And why were they with Maryanne?
The reason why they were